Good morning, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. All right, there we go. There we go. All right. Good morning, everybody. I'll turn this down a little bit. It is 7:40 a.m. currently in Australia. I've had my coffee. I've had my banana bread. Ready to start the day. So we're going to watch a little bit of Palia, because I guess that shares a lot of similarities in the genre. I thought it might be interesting. I really haven't seen a whole lot about the game. So I thought maybe watch a video about Palia. I just found this one by MMO Byte that seems pretty cool. Like a nice summed up impressions video, so that maybe they'll give us like a good overview of some gameplay. I can't hear myself think currently with this music. So yeah, we'll watch some Palia this morning. One thing I actually want to do is a little bit different. Is I'm going to read through a reply that I gave to someone's Steam post, because someone actually took the time to write quite a lengthy post to us on Steam forums. And it was actually like a thoughtful post. It's not like, don't think a word of caution is like scary or anything. It's quite thoughtful, and I wrote a thoughtful reply because I wanted to give them the time of day. And I thought it's actually just something that's like probably a good thing to just like generally for the community to sort of know, like what our answer is to this. So I'll go through this afterwards, but we'll watch some Palia straight up. If you haven't seen Palia, it's a new MMO coming out that is very like, 3D Stardew Valley / Worldcraft / WoW / whatever else. So it's very like a cozy sort of like crafting, farming type of game. Not really heavy on like dungeon crawling or fighting or anything. So like I guess it lacks that part of Lens Island, but it's like a big MMO, multiplayer game, which is pretty cool. So it'll be interesting to see how they do things. So we'll quickly watch that, and then watch that, and then we've got Lens Island to develop. So we're making. I'm working on the second town again. We've been doing a whole bunch of stuff behind the scenes lately at the studio. Been doing lots of work preparing for this next update and doing preparing stuff for beta tests and alpha tests and stuff. So I need to get this town finished. So I'm going to work on this town as much as possible today. We're going to basically, this is going to be like a builder's house where there's going to be different like blueprints for different building supply, like different decoration items. You may even actually see some new decoration items that we're adding into the game. So I'll be basically populating the rest of this town, set dressing it, setting up the final NPC, because there's going to be 3 NPCs in this town. There is like a general sort of trader merchant. At the moment, I just have got the old mayor from Bridgewater chilling here. He's downgraded to a trader, but he will sell. You can see the resources sort of relevant to this tier of the game. This is where you'll start to be able to buy and sell pumpkins, lavender, and then also olive seeds and passion fruit. The druid's here. Druid will sell runes for enchanting, and also armor. There's actually druid armor on this table. And then this will be like a house, and you'll be able to go inside the house, and there'll be a whole bunch of like decoration items in here, like these ones, like blueprints that you can buy for your own house. But yeah, that's what we're installed for this morning. Feel free to, let me know how you're going in chat. Good morning, Pink. Good morning, Josh, Armin, Shalene, Based, Mike. It's good to see you all here. Yeah, we're just going to chill out this morning. Might be a bit of a longer stream, I think, because I want to like really spend a lot of time on this town and make it really good. Plus, we're going to chill out and watch some videos at the start. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. I don't know if any of you have seen Palia. But yeah, I guess MMO Byte, if you're watching the VOD of this, maybe don't copyright strike me. Thank you. Yeah, but I guess go check them out. This is just a video. It looked like a really nice 10-minute summary that's like really well spoken and showing like a lot of different stuff of the game. So I thought maybe this is a good video just to watch, because I haven't really seen a whole lot. All I've seen is the very, very like the trailer and one other little thing about Palia. So I thought maybe it's cool to share my opinion on what I think about this. So let's get into it. Let's see what this game's about. There might be ads. I'm just on like a incognito window. Oh, you're playing Palia. Cool. I'm probably gonna pause this video all the time. By the way, the outfit, this whole like outfit's way cooler than I thought you'd be able to do in this game. Like, all of that looks like really cool. I didn't think they would have outfits that cool looking. So okay, just straight up, this is one thing. It's like a massive criticism that I have of like just current gen rendering engines and current gen games. Well, not even rendering engines. The way that environment artists use rendering engines lately is washing out every single game. It's like, this is all just a big grey fog. And like, I know they're trying to create atmosphere and they're trying to create like light rays and atmosphere, but it's like to the point where it's like, so far, maybe it's different for different parts of the game. This whole game is just blue. Like, it's just like one big light blue fog everywhere. And it's like, imagine how beautiful this would look if all of this was contrasted. Actually, screw it. I'm just gonna show you what I mean. I've got like 2 seconds in a trailer. I'm already like trying to pull it apart. I know this is just like, because I care so much about art and aesthetics in games. This is something that's like a massive pet peeve for me lately in gaming. Is just like, there's so many games that do this, and it's like, it's almost like it's not an actual active decision. It's almost like they have rendering distances low, so they add in like a lot of like fog and light scattering to basically hide some LOD snapping, but they also just think that it's like, oh, like it just looks atmospheric, it looks cool, and it's just like, you know, fog equals better. But what it does is like, fog equals less contrast, and fog equals basically like more washed out game. But I'm just gonna really quickly show you what I mean, right? So if, let's say, whoops, let's go back into Photoshop. I just opened Lightroom, whoops. Let's go back into Photoshop, right? If I was to say like, duplicate this, like that, let's make this a little bit, why is this window so big? It's like, imagine how beautiful this could, let's go that, and then bam. Imagine how beautiful this could look if it got back some contrast, and it's going to be really hard to like undo this. I'm going to try my best. So if we bring down it's going to be really hard to undo this, because especially like the blues are so blue. You have to bring back a little bit of the green. I don't know if it's going to be possible to try to get back these colors like properly. I'm trying to think. Like basically, I feel like I'm so far down this rabbit hole, I might as well just do it now. I'm just gonna paint over them. So it's like, imagine if these trees were actually green, right? So this is gonna look dodgy, but hopefully by the end of me just doing this really quick example, you'll get what I mean. So like, let's set them to like hue, so we can just like get back a little bit of green, and then I guess we also want some contrast on them, because now they're just, whoops, now they're just washed out. Okay, I swear I won't take too long. I'm just like addicted to this. Give me a second. I didn't expect to do this straight away in this video. But imagine those actually have some light coming off them. And then like, imagine all of this. Yeah, this is like a big side quest mid-video. But I feel like I'm sort of committed to it now. So we're just going to go down the side quest of just like improving Palia frame by frame. Who's with me? All right. Oops, I sort of did, let's say I do. Because the other thing too is like you lose all silhouettes. When you do this, you lose all of the strong silhouettes and forms from your background, which is like really important because it adds like so much structure to. I'll let you listen to some music while we Photoshop jam for a second. But okay, so it's like pretend like obviously this is like the most sketchy Photoshop ever. But imagine there's like actually light hitting, you know, all of this now. Blah, blah, blah. Put out the lightness. And let's set that to like... probably just be a bit of hue. And then I want to like add way more contrast in some areas. I want to add contrast in like, I basically want to make all of that darker. Okay. Oh man, I'm going so far down this rabbit hole. This is also like terrible photoshopping. Like this is such bad photoshopping I'm doing right now, but I really just can't help myself. None of this is going to be that impressive if this just looks like crap when I'm done. You'll sort of just be like, oh, okay, no, don't worry, I was wrong. Ignore what I said. We'll try to make it not look like crap. We'll try. Let's just try to, and then it's like, look how beautiful that orange is in those trees. And then like, you just don't really get it. Okay. So like, let's just say, let's duplicate that. It's so hard to add back in detail that has just been like sucked away. But imagine that like this is a little bit sort of, you know, darker, like it gets back its, we're like losing a little bit of color, but you know, that's all good. And then like imagine that these beautiful oranges from these trees, you actually get to keep seeing into the background. See, because like all in the background here, like this big tree, that has that beautiful orange color. All of these all have that color. All of them, all through here. And you just like don't see it. It's just like all washed out in gray. And then like there's a lot more green. So it's like the tops. So if I go through here, like all through here is like grass, and that would be green. And then there'll be patches of grass through here, and like that would be green. There'll be patches of grass. So then like we can add in back some color there. Just be a little bit more like subtle with it. Like this windmill would be like a brown, like a rich sort of brown. So let's try to get back in some of that color. All those little wooden parts. This pole here, that sail. Sure. And then like the sky, even the sky is starting to get washed out. You can see by all this light blooming, the sky is getting very washed out. The sky on the right hand side there looks pretty good. All I'm saying, right? All I'm saying is filter, and then we're going to sharpen this a little bit more now. And then like even, there's probably a way, God, I'm going so deep down this rabbit hole. Okay, so I just want to get some more like edging back because like it's gotten rid of all the edging. So let's go to, I got one idea. I could add in a, which one is it? Is it poster edges? Yeah, that's what we want. And then we put down the edge thickness a little bit, just because like this will give us some of our like actual contrast back in our like shapes, and then we can just like lower the opacity right down, and that'll just give us like a tiny bit of definition back. But all I'm saying is completely that like, so see this is what the screenshot of the game looked like, and that's what it could look like. And like this is just me terribly photoshopping it for like 10 seconds. But like the second you look at that and then you turn it off, suddenly this looks like it looks like a black and white image. You're like, wait, the game doesn't look like that normally, does it? And it's just like it's amazing how beautiful something can look if you don't just wash it all out all the time by default. It's like I'm not trying to hate on you, Palia. It looks beautiful. But it's like, it looks so beautiful. All of these assets, all these colors are amazing. And it's almost like it's all just thrown out the window the second it just becomes like this pale blue washed out fog over everything. Like this is such a beautiful composition. This tower and everything and the bridge, it is so nice. And it's all just completely thrown out the window. So it's just like, that's just my pet peeve in like so many modern games is they just use like global illumination and ambient lighting to raise the shadows so much and add so much fog. There's like, they're basically using ambient light to make all the shadows brighter and always towards blue and like quite like over exaggerated towards blue. And then they'll use like fog and light scattering and light shafts and stuff to then also make the highlights like sort of bloom out. And then they basically just get all the color information and all the contrast and then basically just go like this and then just turn down the contrast and all of the sharpness and all the intensity of the entire game. I think it's just a quick little thing. It's like, imagine how beautiful and like rich and just like effective that could be if you really if I really want to be like an artist right now, if I want to just like go ham with this, let's say the one thing that comes to mind is now we've lost the definition between foreground and background, right? This is the foreground, this is the bridge, and that's the background. And then now there's like, because I've made it more vibrant, now they're sort of like blending into like before there was a bit of definition because this was lighter than the foreground, but now they're starting to blend into each other a bit more. That's when like the level designer in me is like, oh, make a waterfall here, and then a waterfall can be trickling off the edge. And because there's a waterfall there, that would mean that there's like a whole bunch of like spray. So then there could be, imagine a whole bunch of spray like this, and this is the fog from the waterfall, basically. And then we would cut out where the bridge goes, like that. Cut that out, and then pretend that I'll just quickly make a waterfall. So this is the water traveling. It should probably be a little bit more blue than that. This is the water from the waterfall, and then it's probably going to need some white. And then the water's all like going down there. And then you got all this like spray coming off the waterfall. And then it's like, oh, like now this spray can be something to like actually like, I like basically added in like an element that can actually differentiate the two now. So rather than making like the entire scene this washed out thing, I basically include this element that then adds some like division between like the foreground and the background, and you get a beautiful a beautiful like sort of, you know, body of water here, fog, and like the fog has movement now, but then you also still get like your contrasted background, and like that is just like, for me, this is what it could be: beautiful waterfall, contrasted background, really clear like shapes, forms, but instead it is just sort of grey. So I know we're 10 seconds into the trailer, but it's just like, I just see this all the time in games, and it's just like, it just gets to me, that's all. So let's get back into the trailer. Oh, I need to close Lightroom. I don't know why I opened that. No. All right, we'll get back to the trailer. Now you guys are just going to be thinking about like the grey lighting the whole time you go through the trailer. It's like, see how like vibrant, like all this is like pretty, saying that like this is also suffering from it. Like you can see, I don't know, like games just like they always turn up the global illumination a little bit too much, where everything just becomes a little bit too blue and a little bit too washed out. This is like looking pretty good. Oh, so no audio. I thought it was coming through. 1 second. Oh yeah, no, that comes. I think the audio's coming through. The audio's coming through, right? It's coming through on my audio mixer. Is it not for you guys? Let me. Oh, I think I know why. Actually, I think I know why the audio is not coming through. 1 second. Oh, I can't change it midstream. Can you guys hear like the? Oh, I'm just trying to think. I'll just have to temporarily. I'll have to temporarily like route it to a different thing. 1 second. How do I do this again? Properties? No. Because you guys have to hear the audio. Oh, I found it. Okay. I think you should hear it now.
Welcome to vacation from the day in, day out fighting, being able to just
Can you hear this?
relax in a cozy life.
You can hear the Lens Island music? Oh, jeez. It's almost like I've never streamed before. I think you guys should be able to hear it now. I think. You should be able to hear that music. Just like, someone let me know if you hear that music and then we'll get straight. Oh, you can. Perfect. Okay, cool. All right, let's get back into it. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Say welcome to vacation from the day in, day out fighting, being able to just
So I just want to have a look at this UI real quick. What are we working with? So we've got the hotbar down the bottom right. OPR. That's an interesting icon placement. We've got like some quests, like a sundial. Yeah. All right.
just relax in a cozy life sim MMO. Palia. This game reveal rather dropped into our laps not but a few years ago, touting a comforting experience provided by some Blizzard and Riot
How many people watching have played this game, by the way? Like, what do you guys think?
devs who broke off on their own to bring their
So I'm just looking at like the lighting and rendering now. Again, like even this is starting to feel it's pretty nice, but it's starting to feel a bit too washed out for my liking. Like it's too purple. Like everything is just sort of purple.
vision of an MMO to life. And now we can sample the fruits of their labors as of August
Oh, that's cool. That looks pretty. Inventory full. Interesting.
2nd for their biggest test phase
Yeah,
yet.
well, like you're
their
playing it.
closed beta phase that has no NDA nor any wipes for this stage and beyond. If you were unlucky enough to not be selected for or just didn't
What's the fishing like? Is it difficult? It looks interesting.
know about the beta test, fear not, because on August 10th they will be holding an open beta,
Perfect
allowing
catch.
access to every single interested
Oh, they
player.
got water
We still
spouts.
have
Yeah, like look at. Okay, here's a weird part. Like, what's wrong about this image, everybody? I guess the wrong thing about the image is the fact that like their fog seems to be height based. So the fog, like that whole like fog that I was talking about that annoys me so much, is just on the bottom half of the image for some reason. But then the top half, we actually have like a nice contrasted, like good looking mountain that is like, you know, has all of its detail, its color. But then all of this, like the area of the game in which you're actually playing in and like spending all your time looking at is just washed out and grey. So it's just so unfortunate because like this could just be a really beautiful screenshot right now, except it's not.
no release date for Palia at this time, but we do know it'll be launching free to play on PC.
How big's the map? Like is this sort of the map? Like are we looking at it? Because this is like a one handmade like map, isn't it?
And Switch. And we suspect it could be soon, as we know for sure the Switch release will be happening sometime holiday season this year. And if you don't want to miss out on opportunities like this one, shameless plug for something I've worked hard on, join our Discord today from the link in the description
Discord.
below to keep up to date with everything MMO. From the latest announcements to sign up formed as possible so they don't miss any options. First, you're going to make your character because this represents who you are in the world of Palia.
Characters look really nice.
Yeah, you'll have your choice of body type
Lots
that
of
shares the
voices.
following: a few face styles, skin
It's funny when the video's sped up, you can see how the character's like deforming. It's
tones,
just, like,
eye color, voice,
you can see the hip bone is staying still, but then the whole top half of the body is just like going like this. It's like totally not how the human body works.
hair, and
You see how it's-
outfits. There's
just
also
as
a
funny.
makeup tab, but that's very minimal with just varying eyelashes.
hairstyles are cool. What's
Overall, the
heaps of
character
hair?
creator isn't super individualizing, but hopefully in the future they'll add in more options because I'd love to see
I think those
myself in
options
the
are
character I
fantastic.
create. I know a lot of my male friends were a bit let down by the fact that the game doesn't have any beards or mustaches at this time, but they are planned. So face carpets are in the works, guys. Rejoice! The great news is you can change every
Yeah, that character customizer looks awesome.
option
looks
beyond
really good.
body type of the wardrobe in the game whenever
Restless
you feel
torso
like for
syndrome.
free.
Yeah.
So don't feel super stressed in character creation because there's a lot of time to change your mind
Classic
even
gliders.
while
I love how gliders are just a thing in every game now. Like, every single developer, when they need, like, fast travel, they're just like, glider, and they just, like, slap that mechanic on. It's like, because it's fun and it works well. It's just so funny how no one even, like, attempts to redefine the wheel now. They're just like, yeah, glider. Glider's got it.
playing. From the character creator, you're teleported into the ruins of Palia, where you come face to face with your first encounter of the inhabitants of the world, Gina. From there, she will point you in the direction of Kalimia village, where you'll begin your new life among
It's a really
them.
good video.
Each member
They
of
did
this
it. They've
world
done a
you
good
encounter
job
has their own
explaining it all.
unique personalities, appearances, and tastes. From a
Is
single
there voice acting? Like, do these people actually talk in the game?
dad living in the woods to a man and his loving wife living out their life on a farm to a bratty rich girl trying to rebel against her mom. You'll unfold who they are alongside unraveling the big overall story. Why humans are appearing back in Palia after being gone for so long.
I
As
like
time
the-
goes on, you'll
the
speak with them
antlers.
and grow closer
cool.
and closer to them.
Oh,
Some
I
of
got the
them you
town.
can even eventually romance.
Yeah, cool looking town. I like the architecture and like the visual style that they've built for this game is really cool. Like, it really feels believable. Like, it feels like a world. It just feels like a living, breathing world with their own, you know, type of architecture and styles and story. It's definitely
Including a robot.
really cool.
The closer you grow to them, the more quests they'll offer you. Each in-game day, you'll be able to have new conversations with them, and each real-time day for us, you'll be able to have a new opportunity to give them a gift that they love. They're very picky though, so make sure to
okay,
keep
so it's got,
talking
like,
to
a
them
big
so you'll be able to
relationship
eventually
sort of
ask them what
angle.
it is they like, or they might even give you suggestions for different villagers. At first, I found this
eyes are
feature
so
a little
itchy.
weird, but as more time went on, they began to feel like they were truly fleshed out characters with true personalities that I felt inclined to discover more about.
So you get like different weekly wants. You just got to give them shit, and then they give you stuff back. Is that does this person want this? And then if you give them this, then you can level up. And then if you hit a certain level, they give you something like a key or a dog head. Thank you so much for my tomato and iron bar. Here's my dog's head.
While they don't actually
Oh, it's
speak
copper.
more than a
Okay,
few
sorry.
noises or small phrases, they do have a lot to say in text. Heck, they will
Look at this guy. What a Chad. Look at
do
that
have a lot to
jawline.
say in text.
Oh, look at that. Like that little animation.
Than a few noises or small phrases, they do have a lot to say in text.
Oh, like right, like it's just. Well, I know exactly who everyone's romancing. This guy. Look at that jaw. Look at like the little rim lighting on his jawline, just making sure that's like perfectly defined.
They
Look at his little. Oh.
will even send you letters that appear
Oh,
at your
that's so
mailbox
funny.
of the plot of land they give
Look at
you
this
to
guy.
build a house on. Yes, you heard there is housing.
That guy
Instance
has the
housing,
most
though.
amount of
You'll be
girlfriends
gifted a
in
plot of
Palia.
land you'll need to clear out and begin crafting, farming, and building on. Beyond the base house they gift you, you'll need to buy
Okay, so it's like this is your whole plot, and then you can slowly unlock more, like, space for it.
the
Okay.
land not yet unlocked by purchasing writs and
That's on a
also buying
grid.
sections
Well,
of
it's like
house to
1 meter
build
by 1 meter
with
grid.
in-game money you earn from selling goods you collect
they
or
know exactly
craft.
what they're
Furniture is derived by crafting, and each piece you craft will give you an option to unlock more craftable items for your furniture building level. Furniture can also be purchased
What from the people in chat that have played Palia, what are like the strongest parts of the game? Like if you've played it for like a bit of time now, what's like the thing that makes it so good? Because currently like what I'm seeing is like it just like looks like a generally good game. Like it looks like it just does everything pretty well. However, it doesn't look like it based on just the trailer so far, or I guess this video so far, it doesn't look like it like exceeds in anything. Like the building, it's like, oh, it's relatively restricted because it's on a grid, but it looks good. Like, it has like a large amount of items and they're all cool looking, but it does look inherently restricted. Like, it would be like nowhere near building in Sims. And like the character customization looks like it's good. Like, it's good character customization, but it's nowhere near Sims or like other MMOs. Like, it looks like it's just got like a bunch of good features. But I wonder, like, what is like the amazing feature? Like, what is the thing that actually makes this game what it is? Whether it's like a feature or a combination of stuff. I like the fact that there are no threats. It's nice to a game to sometimes just be able to properly relax. Right. So is it more just like the combination of stuff that makes it special? It's like, oh, finally it's an MMO that just has all the cozy game elements under one roof that, like, you know, is nicely done.
From Trish, the local furniture seller in town. You don't have to be at the level to craft.
This is literally what we're making today, by the way, is a furniture shop. We did this before Palia, though. We did this way before Palia, all right? I'm relocating my furniture shop. It already existed.
What she's selling, you only need to have the gold to do so. The only downside I found to the furniture is you can't really interact with it. Like, I can't sit in the chair or lay in the bed. That kind of bothered me. Hopefully these features are in the works because I'd love to see that.
We do want to add that at some point.
Happen. It's small interactions like that make the world feel more alive. Within your plot of land, you can farm as well, which comes with tilling the land, putting out seeds, weeding, watering, and fertilizing. Farming is also a little more complex than what I am showing. If you plant crops in an orderly fashion, you can grow crops faster, crops that won't grow weeds, or increase the
plant crops in an orderly fashion, they grow faster. How does that work?
Quality of surrounding crops. I'm just a willy-nilly planter and don't really care about optimizing just yet. These crops are very helpful in either obtaining gold from selling the fruits of your labors or cooking.
Like a little pet peeve in games in general. I hate it when games like this inventory here. It's like they don't like resize this or make this sort of dynamic. They just have the whole inventory, and then if you haven't unlocked all the space, you're constantly staring at these like blank parts in the inventory that like you can't use these yet. Like, you know, you're not cool enough to use this extra space, and it's just like really annoying, like the framing when they have games framed in a way in which you're constantly sort of basically getting shown the thing that you can't use, and it's like, haha, like, you know, you can't use these two. It's like, just don't show them. Like, just have that deleted, and then this whole thing here, shift that up and make this whole menu smaller. Like, just make this entire rectangle menu dynamic, so when you haven't unlocked those yet, then the size of this whole menu, instead of being full screen, it goes down to like there, and then there's your 3 rows, and it doesn't feel like you're missing out on anything. And then like when you get a new row, it actually makes the menu bigger. Like, you actually get a new row rather than just like unlocking a row that was just like sectioned off the whole time. It's just like a little, like it's like, from like a game designer's perspective, it's way easier to do this. Like, you don't have to have dynamic UI. You don't have to do any sort of like different layout changes. You just like turn this lock section off and turn the slots on. But from like a player's standpoint, and just like more of like a psychological standpoint, it feels like so much worse constantly getting told you don't have something when it is there and the space is there, but you're like, you can't use it yet, rather than like actually unlocking that thing and it popping up for the first time and then showing afterwards. It's just like a little thing that, I don't know, I think it makes a big difference, especially in games that are inventory heavy. If you ever see an inventory where like slots are like locked and you can't use them yet, I don't know, I think that's lazy, and I think you need to do better.
The cooking, once you unlock the oven and prep station, unlocks a minigame where you need to click
Guitar Hero cooking.
to chop or
that's
use
cool.
a rolling pin before the timer runs out. It's
that's
quite
funny.
a fun little experience.
Oh no, ad.
Planes. Multiverse.
Okay,
but I have a little trouble with timing. This is where your friends who
Yeah, that's the first thing that comes to mind is like timing. Like some people just like some people just have like longer reaction time than others. Some people have like disabilities or impairments which they can't like click timing. So it's something that like I've always thought about in Lens Island as well. But I think the only issue with like intense timing mechanics is when they're on like super like, you know, cozy games where like stuff like this, the vast majority of the audience are people that maybe like want to take their time, and then the second you introduce like quick timing puzzles and stuff, it seems to sort of butt heads with like the general player base. But if you have a game that is more like fast paced, like Lens Island has like full on dungeon crawling, it's sort of like a bit more okay.
Visit your home,
I just got a feeling a lot of people would complain about that. I've got a feeling a lot of players would complain about that food preparation stuff with the timing. Because that actually, like, that was like Guitar Hero. Like, that, obviously not quite as hard, but the timing was quick. Like, that was even quicker than, like, our fishing timing in Lens Island.
Into your instance, plot of land, and water plants, move your stuff if you add them as an editor, or most importantly, join you for cooking. If they bring resources, they can assist you in the ingredients for cooking.
The cooking looks really in-depth.
Looks
cool.
You cook. In my case,
like
if I don't have an oven to bake in, because my cooking level, I can go over...
The UI is interesting. Like they use like world-based UI. You see how it like actually follows the like Lens Island.
In my case, if it
actually follows the items and shows above them. One little pet peeve is you actually may see all these like these bubbles, like these sort of backgrounds. They're all really low resolution. Like you get to see all like the pixelated edges.
Don't yet have an oven to bake in because my cooking level, I can go over to my friend's house and assist them with their cooking and reap the benefits as all things are shared equally despite the efforts or supplies put in. Just be aware your friends might start to notice you only come over for dinner time and get
that's really cool. Like how they're explaining the cooking.
Also, the only time you can visit your friends
cooking with your friends and stuff. Hey, dude, I'm going good. We're just watching a little bit of Palia, giving my thoughts, and then I'm going to read through some stuff, and then we're going to start developing the town, Lens Island.
If they're actually at home, otherwise access is denied.
Oh, that's a map. Did they show the
time and get actually at home? Otherwise,
it's just like the town. I wonder how big the map
is denied. You can also visit any friend's home as long as they're on your friends list. I was able to visit the homes of my friends who live in Africa, the UK, and Canada, so we can all pretty much share a world with.
Like the map doesn't. I don't think like it doesn't feel massive. Like how do the servers work and stuff? Like how many people are running around this map?
Anyone we wish. If you want to see your friends beyond your home, make sure you add them to your party so you can move about the map together. There can only be 25 people at a time on a map, and the party limit is 4 players. So if you have more than 4 friends, bear that in mind. 25. Out in the open world, there's more to do than just hanging out with NPCs. You can fish, mine, capture bugs.
Look, I don't want to hate on Palia. 25, that's not an MMO. Like I don't think 25 that is not massively multiplayer. Like literally, like I don't think by definition that is an MMO. Are they planning to put that up? Like I feel like they have to put that up. It just like 25. It's like that's a Call of Duty map. that's like a really dead small Rust server with no one on it.
Pick up plants,
like
chop
that seems
down
like it's
trees,
fundamentally
and
not
all these
an
life
MMO
skills, including farming, furniture,
people
crafting, and
max.
cooking, have levels. The higher your skill in them, the better utensils to assist you in these tasks become. Each of these tasks, except furniture making, can be done with friends in some form. Some things cannot be done alone, like chopping down magical trees that regen health. The community of Palia refers to this as tree raids, where you band together like Kirito and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Sword Art Online,
like the
and
tasks you do
you're
with your
not
friends
one to leave
really
a task
cool
incomplete. Everything you do together,
fun.
whether you're in a party or not, is shared. So if I shoot a Thernuck at the same time another player does, or take the second shot,
I hope so.
It'll give us both the same.
Like there should be hundreds
rewards.
And hundreds,
it
if
also
not 1,000
makes things
people
go
on the
faster,
server.
like mining.
Otherwise, you're just
if
not
playing
an MMO.
with another person sounds absolutely horrible to you, fear not. You can play this game entirely solo if you so choose, except for the tree cutting. Just pretend you're getting an NPC to help you with the magical trees. It'll be fine. The world itself is comprised of killing.
That is something interesting that they've just said. Like, you know, there's everything. You can play by yourself except for the tree cutting. It's just interesting. Like, that seems like something that you should be able to, like, you know, find like an NPC in the town that can sort of like help cut that tree with you. You know, you can sort of like get like NPCs to like do those like multiplayer tasks if you don't have friends. Like, it is an MMO, so I guess it's like, you know, you need real people to do MMO stuff. It almost, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like my perception of this game almost seems like it is in like a really weird middle ground between a single player Sims game and an MMO. And it's like they're trying to do both at the same time, but it's not, I don't know, like it feels like there's a bit of tension. Like they just need to pick one. Because like you can't call yourself an MMO but only have 25 players. But then at the same time, it's like, oh, but because we're an MMO, there's some tasks you have to have other players to do, and you literally can't do them by yourself. But playing the game by yourself is a feature, and you can play by yourself if you want, but you can only play part of the game. And it just feels like, I don't know, like if you're an MMO, lean into the MMO part. Like go hard into that MMO part and like do it properly, or like properly encompass everything. It just, I don't know, like it feels like an interesting middle ground that, I don't know, like it. I'd be worried, if I was a developer of this, I'd be worried about alienating the people at the ends of the spectrum. The people that just want to play a single player game and the people that really do want an MMO experience. Both of those groups of people aren't getting that experience, like from a 25-person server where some stuff is required to have friends. Like they are not getting the experiences that they want. For the MMO people, the game is too small and they want more people. For the single player people, they're forced to play a game with other people that they don't want to play. And then it's like only the people in the middle that basically get the game and sort of like enjoy it properly. That's like the thing that I would be worried about. It would all be like, honestly, so simple for them to, well, not so simple, but it would be easy for them to solve. Like there's easy solutions to those problems. Increase the player count, you know, make like NPC friends that can follow you around and like help do tasks with you, you know, and they cost money. So it's like, if you do want to play the game single player, maybe you just need a little bit more resources in order to like pay people to help you do tasks instead of like having real friends or something. But I don't know, it just feels like these sorts of like cozy games that really don't have fighting and stuff, they have to spend a lot more time being like inclusive to different player bases and different playing types, because that's sort of like the whole point of the game. But yeah, this is the map, I guess. Remember, I wonder how much the map's going to expand. I wonder if like how much bigger it's going to get.
Palia Bay right now.
But yeah, like NPC friends seems like would just be like a massive golden star. Like it would just be like everyone would just eat that up. Like it would be so fun.
With more areas on the way. Each area feels like it has its own unique biome with sandy beach.
I'm sorry, the YouTuber keeps explaining every one of my questions just after I answer it. We should just watch the video.
Beaches, rolling hills, and deep magical forests depending on where you are. The world doesn't necessarily feel vast, but definitely makes you hoof it around. The world feels full and purposeful, which is what I like to see. There is fast travel, but
I think that's a good point that they brought up. Like the world feels purposeful, and I agree. Like from what I've seen so far, the world feels like well thought out and purposeful, mainly from like an asset standpoint. Like the actual design of the assets are really well done. The actual like world building and level design is sort of like, yeah, it feels like sort of mediocre. Like it does, I don't know, a lot of my perception so far does feel like just a big green mountain world. Like I don't know, it's good, but it's not great. It doesn't feel like it's any like
game currency, and that's just not something easily obtained right now for me, so I'm saving it up by running everywhere I go. You can teleport for free to your home every 30 minutes if you choose to, so there is that. As time moves on though, you'll get a quest to get a glider as well. This will unlock new areas for you to soar to or save yourself a few.
Oh, that looks so good. Can we just watch? For everyone that complains about Lens Island parkour, can we all just watch this for a second?
If you choose to, so there is that. As time moves on, though, you'll get a quest to get a glider as well. You're
complaining about parkour in an isometric game. Watch this.
This will unlock new areas for you to soar to or save yourself.
Smashes head on the wooden beam, like glitches out, and then just like misses the jump and falls down.
A few steps. Each area also
that misses it again.
Plants, and bug life. The animal life seems to be the same with the Sernuk and Kappas. One thing I did find interesting in the Bahar.
I'm just say parkour's hard, all right? Even a third person game is struggling to get parkour right.
Bay was meeting Tamala, which hints really perhaps an additional skill for the future. Alchemy, perhaps?
Oh, that's so cool. That like greenhouse or the bamboo. Oh, that's beautiful. I want more of this. Like I feel like so far, like watching the gameplay, like this is like a rare sighting. You know, like just like everything here is so vibrant and so detailed, and like the scale is small. Like I feel like nice and cozy, like I'm inside a house and there's like all these things around me. But all the gameplay that I've been seeing is just like in these big open fields that are sort of like low fidelity, very sparse because it's an MMO, I guess. I'm just sort of outside in these like low texture quality cliffs that are just all bare. And it feels like a lot of the gameplay is happening like outside in these wide open areas that are very bare and very just generally low detail. But then like in here is just like a completely different game. Like in here is like such high detail and such like everything just looks really beautiful. I think that's, I don't know, like I don't know, I haven't seen enough about the game, but I think something that if utilized well in games can be really meaningful is like actually having different scopes of area, like having parts of like levels that are small and cramped and have high levels of detail, and then some parts of the level that are big and open, and actually like making use of like a varying degree of scales and like open and closed spaces. I guess you naturally get that from houses, but it feels like I want this feeling outside in the world, not just in my home. Like I want to feel, I don't know, like in that town, for example, like I want to feel this when I buy stuff in the town. Maybe you do.
Some potions from her, and if we're being honest here, she's the one I'm trying to roam.
This literally is the town. Is this not my house?
Man, but she lives so gosh darn far away. It's hard to get to her every day.
Oh, this second NPC lives on the corner of the map that you get stuff from. Man, like that looks awesome. I hope you can build that stuff because it looks
honestly
awesome.
The whole area of Bahari Bay feels magical. As I came across,
this is what I meant about like the world building, like everything so far. All of the map just sort of feels like this that I've seen. Like it all just sort of looks like green forest with cliffs. But I guess like this is just the spawn zone, right? This is like the first area of the game. They'll include more areas, and I'm sure those other areas will be a lot more like creatively diverse.
Some magical Sernuk that got away as I ran out of arrows. But you do hear the NPCs talking about its possible existence at times.
So parkour is definitely a thing in this game. I've seen several chests like on top of ruins and stuff. So parkour is definitely a thing.
More time goes on, I'll be able to kill it and see what it offers in terms of drops. The world itself is indeed cozy with little hints of darkness within it, as you find basically.
The sewers are way different inside the sewers. What?
The world
That's the entrance of the sewers. Circle tube
itself is indeed
and then
cozy,
when you enter the sewers, no, it's like a square like hall with like barrels and like putty like drapes
within it, as you find basically a hidden black market, encounter a witchy character, other villagers tell you to stay away from.
This is like that tent in Harry Potter where they walk in the tent and it's like a giant mansion inside the tent.
And you can say questionable things others disapprove of. I was surprised by how invested I became in the world itself and trying to figure out how to unlock more stories, because I was eager for more. Like really monetization for this free-to-play game is simply an outfit store where you can dress your character up in neat outfits.
Oh.
Trying to figure out how to unlock more stories because I was eager for more. Monetization for this free-to-play game is simply an outfit store where you can dress.
Look, Palia, it all looks great. I'm all for it. The only thing I could say is like the second I see this, and the second I see 1,000 Palia coins for $99.99 and 2,500 bonus coins, I just like, oh, like a part of my soul just dies. It's just like, oh, like I wish this could just like disappear.
Your character up in neat outfits. A lot of people were concerned about pay to win in my streaming of this game, but fear not. This is not something this game even has. The current end game with in mind, this is a beta, appears to be grinding out some rare supplies to work on unlocking the secret in a run, most likely explaining the past of the humans. As more content becomes available in this.
Is this like the what's it called? Like the museum in Stardew Valley, like where you add all the items and like it's like a big collection
game. I see people having plenty to do despite the simplicity of it, as everything takes time. But not so much where you feel like you're standing around waiting, except for maybe when you're fishing and waiting for something to bite. There's still a lot this game has to work on, and they will, as this is a beta phase, and even after releasing, they seem to have solid plans in place for things they want to do, like possibly weather, new areas, set patches, and so much more. Hopefully they'll get the server issues ironed out, the random cord dangling in the square picked up, and some T-pose issues resolved.
What? It feels like since Cyberpunk, like T-pose, like animation problems are like so common in games. Like I feel like I never ever saw a T-pose bug prior to Cyberpunk, and now it's like all I see. Oops, I've accidentally muted it.
Something I will continue to play, and I'm happy to say I actually was pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoed it. I know this game won't be for everyone, but if you're in the least bit curious, I hope to see you all August 10th. This was Mrs. Stick, signing off for now. Bye!
That was a really good video. It showed, yeah. Big thumbs up. I'm not. I'm not logged in. Sorry. No thumbs up. Interesting. Interesting. It looks really good. The only, like, I think my main takeaway so far is, like, there are some very, very talented people clearly working on this game. However, it feels like it doesn't have, like, a clear creative... It feels like it doesn't have a clear game direction. I think it has a clear creative direction. Like, they have this really, like, lush world and this lush story and this whole, like, style built around the world, and, like, the people and all the assets and everything, like, look really beautiful, really detailed, a lot of, like, thought behind them. But I think, like, the overall design of the game and the direction of that design feels like it doesn't have, like, a super clear and direct heading. It feels like they just sort of combined a little bit of everything. Like, they've, like, gotten some Stardew Valley mechanics, gotten some Sims mechanics, gotten just, like, some general mechanics from, like, the whole sort of genre, and then just, like, done good jobs at recreating those mechanics. But then they haven't, like, excelled in any specific way, and they're not really, like, innovating in any specific way. It feels like a game like this sort of needs to innovate in, like, a specific way to sort of, like, properly, I don't know, to properly do well. So it'd be interesting to see how, if and how they innovate in, like, the future releases of the game as they expand it. Because it just looks good. Like, everything looks good so far, but obviously, like, it needs to be better than good, right? It needs to be great. Interesting. I'll have to play it at some point. We'll have to play it on stream, maybe. I don't even know how to access the beta. I have no idea. Oh, sorry, Hams. I actually removed your message because I thought that was something else. It just got picked up as you can send your beta code again. I thought it was spam. Okay. All right. I'll check the silent music on again. We're gonna read this. It's sort of annoying. I haven't set up my recording settings properly, so I'm, like, recording everything to. I wish I could fix it quickly because Steph's gonna. It's gonna be really hard to edit this video. I'm just trying to think about the best way to do this. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm gonna have to do it on a separate track.
I don't think you need music.
You don't think I need music? All right, we're going musicless on the stream. I'm sorry, everybody. Only I can hear the music. Well, like, if you want your own music, go check out Lars and the Lens Island soundtrack on Spotify or YouTube or whatever you'd like to see. Cool. Start doing the website for the open beta. Yeah, I think maybe in the next stream I'll actually try to play a little bit of Palia. Because there's only so much, like, maybe half my opinions were just wrong, because I was just watching that video. But this is something, this post here, so just if you're coming in, we just saw some Palia. If you want to go back in the stream, you can watch that. But I'm going to read through this post here because it was actually a really thoughtful sort of discussion that someone posted, and I gave him, like, a good reply, and I thought it's probably, like, a reply that is probably worth, like, saying to everybody, because it is something that I think is, like, pretty important to, like, the development of Lens Island. And then after that, we're going to work on the town. So I'm going to be working on the second Dark Forest town, and yeah, basically building this out and starting to design it. But quickly going back to, that's the wrong page. Which one is it? This one. I guess I'll zoom in a little bit. Okay, so Hangar Pilot wrote this Sorry that you're getting put on the big stage right now on our Steam forums. I say, Lens Island drew my attention when Uncharted Waters came out. I love it and happy to support it. As I understand, that was basically a complete rebuild of the game at that point. It totally was. We rebuilt the entire game from the ground up for Uncharted Waters. Now an update is coming that seems to be another major redesign, which it is. Towns, game mechanics, procedural dungeons, gear, etc. Sounds awesome. I'm excited. Yet I'm also a little concerned. It seems I'm watching several games implode right now. Some devs have given the community everything they want, and games devolve into a homogenized mix of genres with no clear vision, direction, or story, just a bunch of random features. Some devs have a vision that seems to be a moving target, and development becomes an end in itself, and a finished product may never be realized. Star Citizen, anyone? I haven't played enough of Star Citizen, but I get what they mean. Some devs keep overpromising, under-delivering, and or making serious public blunders that's driving fans away, i.e. The Long Dark, purchased in 2017 as a full release, not early access, and the main storyline is still not finished. Last estimate is end of next year. Valheim has made some questionable design choices that has divided the community. Is Long Dark the one that re-released on Steam? Is that the one I'm thinking of? Long Dark. By the way, go leave a review on Lens Island if you haven't already, because we got a couple of negative review bombs that made our score not good. I think it's a Long Dark. So yeah, we appreciate your positive reviews, or any review. Your honest review is what I appreciate. I think this is what I'm thinking of. Wasn't this out on like console and then they brought it to Steam? Or is this a different game that I'm thinking of? No, I think it's another game I'm thinking of. There was a game where it was like, it's like a foresty game, and the splash art has like trees, and it sort of looks like this. But I think it's like a console game or something, and then they brought it to Steam recently, but I don't think they put any effort into the Steam port, and it just like sucked. I don't think it's Long Dark. I think it's a different one. Anyway, back on track. I fully understand early access is a moving target. If something isn't well received, it needs to be tweaked, or if it doesn't play out as intended, it may need to be redesigned. Good feedback and suggestions may lead to a better product. That's all good. But as I said, it seems I'm watching several games implode. I've got a library of games that are now out of early access, but no longer the game I bought and liked because they've changed too much. I've got games that have added so many new features, I have no desire to try and relearn how to play them. I have games that were supposed to be in early access for 6 months to a year, going on, well, forever. I've got games that have been redesigned so many times. They are broken, buggy mess. To quote Scotty from Star Trek 3, the more they overthink the plumbing, the easier it is to stop up the drain. Why am I taking the time to say all this? I think Lens Island is great, but I'm already eyeing the new update with trepidation. Will it still be the game that I enjoyed? Will the game keep changing, and I'll grow tired of relearning it over and over? Will the game be in development so long the community loses interest and the game gets abandoned and dies? It's weird, but Flow Studio isn't just another nameless, faceless dev to me. Maybe it's the videos or live streams, or maybe it's Julian's personality and how he talks to the community and not at the community. I want this game and Flow Studio to succeed and follow this up a few DLCs and then equally impressive sequel or prequel. Then I want other devs to see that a well-made, family-friendly game can sell without gracious sex for no apparent reason. Talking to you about Baldur's Gate 3. I want to see game discussion boards that talk about, well, the game. I found this game looking for an alternative to Valheim when that community really started to get toxic. I don't want to see this game suffer any of these fates. Keep up the great work. Keep the videos coming. But yeah, anyway, I feel like this is like a pretty common sentiment just in gaming, like not like aimed towards Lens Island, but just aimed towards like all early access games right now. And like for a little while now, it just seems that so many early access games just get derailed. They either like, they launch, they don't get the success that they need, and they fizzle out. They basically just like, you know, can't pay their bills and they can't expand the studio the way they may be planned, and then they just end up not being able to actually keep up with the development that they hoped for. Or they get so much success that it sort of has the opposite effect, where they have all this money and don't actually have like maybe the business knowledge or just like the foresight or planning to really know how to wisely spend it. And then they can derail and get off track because they, suddenly have a whole bunch of money in front of them and they don't know what to do with it. The other thing too is basically like the dichotomy of like feedback and how to change the game based on feedback. So I was going to like basically tell you what my reply was and go through it, because I think this is like generally something that is probably like worth me going over for like everybody that's interested in Lens Island, but just like in gaming in general. Like I think this is sort of like, I don't know, an important thing for early access games. But yeah, I appreciate the full post. I totally agree, which I do. Ultimately, the direction and end goal is and always has been for Lens Island to finish the game I set out to make. And that's still like that's the case. It's like, you know, the whole point of Lens Island is to make Lens Island great and finish it. Where the game is now and where it's heading, I think is best described in 3 ways. So these are like the 3 points that make up I guess the problem in which they just like sort of talked about. I'm going to move this a little bit over there so it doesn't block the chat. Number 1, the original vision I actually had for Lens Island when the development accelerated around 4 years ago. So this is like what is like the core vision and idea for Lens Island. The second, and these are like the 3 things that like basically create the final product, right? The second thing being altering that vision based on community feedback and opinions throughout early access. And then the third one being raising the standards of that vision as I've personally become a better game designer and the studio has expanded. So like they mentioned, if the last 2 points are not managed well, they can completely derail a game project. They should also never make up the majority. They could make up like half or less, but they shouldn't be the majority of your consideration. You should have an idea that can stand on its own 2 feet and a development cycle that can stand on its own 2 feet without needing player feedback in order just to make your game good. So it's like if your game sucks and you need player feedback in order for it to not suck, then fundamentally your idea sucks. Like you're actually on a bad trajectory to begin with, in which maybe you should have a different idea and not go with the one that you sort of currently have. So like for Lens Island, I'd say we're probably like a 50, 20, 30 split to each of those categories. So 50% of Lens Island right now is the original game I planned and is, you know, 50% on track and still the original thing. I'd say about 20% of Lens Island is a game that we've changed based on the people playing it. We've gotten feedback and we've basically molded the final product, and we've molded the game as we keep developing it based on the feedback that we get from the community. And then the last 30% is like the game is generally, honestly, I would say the game is like much better, much more than 30% better, but I would just say, let's say 30% of development is basically like expanded because I've become a better game designer and we've grown the studio and we just generally have some more helping hands, and it's not just like me in a bedroom anymore. The good part is, for just like specifically Lens Island situation, is we've already like sort of passed the point in which both of these 2 things can like really derail a project, right? A lot of the shaping of Lens Island based on community feedback happened when we very first launched the demo of Lens Island before we even launched into early access. And that was like 6 years ago. That was so long ago. That was probably like 4 years ago or something. Until now. And we're basically just like, you know, we've done most of it already, most of that shaping. And like shaping it, the big things that have shaped it to community feedback is like control support, redoing large portions of the control scheme and changing it to be better and more intuitive. We're currently midway through like some more UI, drag, drop and interface like overhauls and stuff, more just like accessibility controls, general like balancing of the game, and also just like the way some parts of like the philosophy of the game, I guess, in how you don't just have to be a dungeon crawler to finish Lens Island. You can actually have different play styles, and making sure, I'd say like one of the big things game design wise that influenced the development is like actually having like separate lanes that you can complete Lens Island through, and making sure they're all just as viable as each other. So it's like you can just go down to the caves and go resource gathering and farming and not really fight too much, and make a lot of money and get a lot of resources, buy a bunch of really, really high-level gear and craft a bunch of high-level weapons, and then go down to a cave and make that cave will be so easy. Like it would be unbelievably easy because you were just so kitted out. And that is like not possible in a lot of other games. And that is something that like we're trying very, very hard to do, to make it so all those different paths can sort of be like individual but also crossover whenever you want them to cross over. But yeah, and then I guess the next update basically like sets the stage to be like, cool, here's the foundation of the final game we've added, and now we just got to keep making it. So it's like, I guess the big thing that sort of this next update does is it almost finishes the list of systems that we want to add to Lens Island to then build the rest of the game out. So like this next update adds in procedural caves, which really, really helps complete that vision that I just talked about, where it's like now you don't have to be a dungeon crawler to go mining and exploring. You can just do that in the caves anyway. And like that, like I don't want to understate the procedural caves. It's really cool. It's a whole underground world of Lens Island. We've changed some farming mechanics and made the farm. You can now like grow mushrooms in the caves, and like there's like a lot more like cool stuff you can do with the farming. There's armor and a lot more like RPG mechanics. The skill tree is way bigger and way more like in depth, and there's a detailed armor system. The whole clothing system's been overhauled, and we're including like community-based clothes that like community members can actually create, and we're going to add that to the Steam workshop. There's enchanting, and there's a lot of like mid to high level stuff. So now there's like this whole end game to Lens Island never existed before, because there's cursed dungeons, and you can go back to all the dungeons and get rare resources, and you know they're very hard, but you can get all this high level gear in order to combat the dungeons. And we've also introduced like a whole new navigation system, and we're adding deer into this next update, which is going to be the start of adding animals to the update, and having just like generally a lot more like interesting like enemies and animals and all sorts of stuff like above ground. And that's just to like name a few. I've done a full video where I talked about all the stuff in this update, but this next update is basically us building out the whole framework for the game. And then after this update, then it's just going to be like adding like heaps and heaps of content. It's like, cool, now to add a bunch of new biomes and a bunch of new islands and a bunch more decoration items and more building styles and more trees to cut down and more dungeons to clear and more bosses and more this and more that, and like we just add more of everything and then just keep making the systems bigger and better, and we polish and we make the game run smoother and we make it more polished and more of a refined experience. So I guess like the big thing being is the good part for us, if anyone else has had this concern, is we're actually already past the part of like being scared about. If you wanted to be sort of scared about the development of Lens Island, that we're going to get off track, that was probably like a year ago that you'd be like, ooh, I wonder how they're going to go. It was like prior to Uncharted Waters. But Uncharted Waters update was like the 0.5, like us sort of halfway through that phase. And this next update is basically like the final part of like sort of this phase of like molding the game and changing the vision to make sure it's like on track. And then after this point, it's sort of just like us pushing forwards and just like finishing the game. And then obviously the cherry on top, multiplayer, right? That's the big one that we're going to be sort of adding for the full release is multiplayer. The other thing, aside from all of this, which I sort of touched on at the end here, is like, you know, I hope this gives you some confidence. But look, apart from that, like I really like I care so much about Lens Island. I honestly think it's impossible to not be a bad game. Like it sounds weird, but I truly do think it is impossible for Lens Island to not succeed, given how much myself and the rest of the team care about this game and work on it. It's like it is our entire lives. All we do is work on Lens Island. And it's just like, you know, it's the only game we make. It's our only source of income. It's our only seed to grow Flow Studio is Lens Island. And Lens Island is my favorite game. It's all of my favorite genres of games. If I was just to pick, you know, make your favorite game of all time, I would pick Lens Island, and I would keep picking Lens Island every single time. So there's no alternative motives, and like there's no publishers, there's no shareholders. Like there's I don't have to answer to anyone. All we need to do is just keep making the game that we absolutely love making, and we spend every day, all day, just working on it. I drive my car to the office at 6 a.m. and I get here and I work on Lens Island with a big smile on my face, and then I leave at 6 p.m. and I go home and I eat dinner, and then I work on it a little bit more, and I just do that every day, and I love it, and it's it's like the best time of my life. But that is not how most games are made. 99.9% of games are made by people working on projects they're not necessarily passionate about. They're just sort of like their skill sets are squeezed out of them to service some random person's vision, and the people aren't truly invested. And there are big publishers telling them exactly how they can and can't make their game, and the shareholders telling them how they can and can't make their game. And the people making the game aren't really personally invested in it. Like, their future isn't being built by the game. They're just trying to keep their job or whatever. So I guess it's like fundamentally where like Lens Island and Flow Studio is sort of set up in a framework that means that we can just make whatever we want to make, and we can do it properly, and we can do it really well, and we don't have to sacrifice any of that vision or any of that execution. And I think this is like a cool, like a good, like important thing to touch on, because this is like the beauty of early access games and like indie studios. Like this is the reason why like Minecraft exists. And, as much as people sometimes hate Valheim exists, and, Stardew Valley, and, Astroneer, and like just think of all of like the cool, indie games. All of them existed because of this framework, because like someone was trying to build a future. And the way that they built that future was making something they're like incredibly passionate about, and they had no strings attached. They didn't have anything stopping them from, making that passion to the fullest. And we're in the same boat, which is what's really cool. So I guess this is something that I guess is sort of easy to spot in a lot of developers. Like, this is something that like you can usually notice pretty quickly if the developers are making a game for themselves. Or if they're making it for sort of other people, and if there's like a lot of intense restrictions on that game they're making for other people. So just like generally speak, and that's the hard part, because like they can't help it, right? If you're like an artist and that's your job, you don't really sort of have any control outside of your own, job. So it's like not to hate on big studios or anything. I'm just saying, with the flexibility that you get in early access and like indie development can lead to like some truly great games. It can also lead to a bunch of dumpster fires, and you get both. You get a bunch of failed projects and you get a bunch of like successful projects. Good part is we're succeeding and we're doing really well, because when I say doing really well, I mean like I'm really happy with Lens Island, and we're making a game that I'm really proud of, and I'm very proud of where I know we're going to end up in the future. So I guess like that is something that can hopefully give everybody some confidence and some like sort of vision for Lens Island. And he replied, and which is cool. But yeah, also just the fact that like I actually read these comments. I don't want to just like ring my own bell here or anything, but it's like every morning I like log into Steam and I read all the comments, the people, and like I read YouTube comments, and I really do care. Like I care about this. I don't like read this and go, you don't know what you're talking about, idiot. Nothing. It's just like, yeah, like you're right. Yeah, you deserve to be cautious. Everyone deserves to be cautious. So I guess just like, that's where we're at. I guess now we can design some Lens Island. So we're going to be working on the town. This town here. I can give my voice a little bit of a break because I've been talking non-stop for like the past hour. But yeah, we've got the second town. I think I've turned off the other. Yeah, I have. This is the second Bridgewater. In the Dark Forest Island, we've got a druid here. I've done a tiny bit of changes to this since last stream. We've got a trader that sells some different goods, and this is going to be a builder's house. So you can see I've already like added a couple of furniture items too. So I'm just generally going to be like detailing this whole town. I'm going to try and finish it this stream. I don't think I will, but we'll see. This is a thing that leads a mine shaft that leads to the procedural cave system, by the way. So there's actually be a way to enter down into the procedural caves like right in this town. So this actually is like quite a good town as far as like location and everything. Because like we're generally trying to make the Dark Forest Islands a little bit more inhabitable in Lens Island. I've done that in some other ways too. I've actually like made the Dark Forest Islands a little bit less dense. Like I've cleared out some of the trees, and I also made the Dark Forest Islands a little bit less foggy. So generally, just like the Dark Forest Islands are a little bit nicer to be in now. Like when you run around them, everything's like a little bit more open and like a little bit more vibrant and a little bit like nicer to be in. So hopefully people are like slightly more inclined to build houses here and sort of like actually spend some time here in the game, because they are very fruitful. They have a lot of resources here. Yeah. So I'll catch up on some comments before I start. I really enjoy the previous versions. Look forward to playing the next update. Yeah, me too. I'm looking forward to all of you playing the next update. I've had a lot of fun making it and playtesting it so far. I think you're really going to like it. I've unlocked all the clothes, colors in the game. What is going to happen in the update would be so the only things that will get sort of like reset in this next update will be the clothes and the town. So the clothes are basically like you'll go back to default clothes, and then the clothes that we're sort of planning is going to happen in stages. So in this next update, you will have access to like a bunch of new clothes. But they'll like look way prettier, and they'll be like all HD and like way cooler looking than they did before. But they'll just be like this base set of clothes that you can sort of change, and you'll be able to build a wardrobe in your house. So that's something that's new in this update. I don't think I've actually talked about up until now. I think that's literally the first time I've ever mentioned that. You'll be able to build a wardrobe in your house and change your clothes at any time at home. But there won't be any purchasing or unlocking of like rare clothes in this update just yet. That's something we're going to include just a little bit later, because we're going to do it sort of properly, and we're going to do it really well. Like I said before, we're going to do community made clothes, so you'll be able to actually like paint and design your own clothes and submit them in the Steam workshop, and we'll be able to add some of your, we'll pick our favorite clothes, just like Counter-Strike or Rust skins, and we'll be able to actually add them into the game. And you'll be able to sort of have the possibility of getting your own clothes in the game. And then there'll be like the different traders in the different towns will sell different like rare outfits and stuff like that, and clothes that you can buy. But that will be coming a little bit after the update. This update is just sort of like we've built the whole system, we've changed everything over to this new system, and we're just implementing like the basic stuff first, and then we're going to expand on it in like the month or so afterwards. So it's like, I guess like the downside being you're going to have to buy it. Like the downside being the colors of the clothes that you've got will reset, but the upside being you're going to get better clothes in return and way more clothes, and just like generally a way cooler system, and you get wardrobes as well that you can build. So hopefully that's a good deal for you. I'm in the mood for some further issues according to if you've got any issues with the building assets, just let me know, and we'll try to fix some of them right now on stream. If you don't finish, you can Photoshop it in the trailer later. Yeah. Okay. Let's start going. I'm gonna start just like constructing this builder's house properly. So to do this, I'm gonna have to delete some stuff. We're gonna have to get rid of the tree and bushes inside of the house. Hopefully this is let me just make sure this is big enough of an area first. Let me just quickly play, because we're going to have to fill this whole house with a bunch of decoration items. It's not going to be all the decoration items in the game. There's another town, like a desert sort of town, and that's going to have like rugs and lamps and everything. Is basically going to be like a bazaar type of area. This one is just this one is just for like cabinets. It's like a cabinet maker. Really, pretty much the exact same furniture person that was in the original Bridgewater in like the current game on Steam. Pretty much matching that. Especially during nighttime, the metallic brackets on the 8 foundation extension are way too shiny. Oh, I can definitely fix that. I know exactly what that is, Mike. I know exactly what that is. I'll fix it for you in a second, and I'll show you what that is actually. It's just like a thing called light probes are left on in the mesh renderer. So like the specific mesh of those metal brackets you're talking about are like absorbing all this extra light that they shouldn't be absorbing. So that's actually like a bug. It's not meant to look like that. I'm trying to think. So if I just quickly give myself dev mode. By the way, the skill tree is like currently like in progress, but you can already tell it's getting a lot bigger. You can see, look at this big skill tree, and this isn't even all of it. The whole skill tree, like there'll be still a big portion of it locked in this next update, but the final version of Lens Arm is actually going to have a pretty decent sized skill tree. Cool. I'm just trying to get an idea for, because this will need to sell the cabinets. Oh, that's right. I can't build anything because the build bug right now. That's right. I feel like I might need the whole area of this house. Like the door might have to be here. Yeah. I don't think we can fit all the decoration items in a 2x2. I don't think this is enough space. I think maybe I make the door here. It's just annoying because we don't get this cute little entry area. Like it just becomes like a big square house. I could maybe put like a bay window there or something. Maybe that'll look pretty, like a bay window there. One thing I'll have to do is fix this building issue before we start building. 1 second. Can you fix that building bug?
I couldn't replicate it.
I can't build anything in the game, just at all. Yeah, in any scene, like in the island scene or the audio testing scene. Right. That anytime I try to build anything, it just doesn't. Yeah, I just get an error. All right. While Max is on that, we'll do some other stuff. Oh yeah, we'll fix that building issue. Now's the time. If there's a bug that's always annoyed you in Lens Island, let me know. I'll try and fix it if it's a simple one. Cool, so there's ornate, foundation, extension. Let's see if it is what I think it is. Yes, it is, see that blend probes? Off. And looks like when I change this one, that's gonna get a little bit darker. Oh, lighting was turned off, so you did see it. But what I just did will fix exactly what I just said. All of these have blend probes on. So yeah, there's going to be technically other parts that, or yeah, only the stuff with metallic textures is going to actually bring it up. Fixed. Let's double check that's not happening for the other foundation extensions. No, that's off. It'd be great if the scards would be allowed to yeah, that's a bit of a, the one with the scards is a little bit different because yeah, I don't know about it. The sky one's a little bit different because they can be built on, so it's like it would be. It is something we can do. It'll just take a bit more time. It's a bit more complex, so just like ticking an option. That's all. Okay, I have to wait a second to get building working. So until then, I'm just gonna detail. We'll get all the decoration items. We'll get all the blueprint items that we're gonna want to buy, all sort of laid out here, so I know what I'm working with. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to be selling the bookshelf. Actually, do I have some of the new... I'll quickly show you some of the new decoration items. They're currently in progress. They're not... I think they're in here. Yeah, they are. Brand new decoration items, everybody. They're in progress, they're not done yet. I've already got some changes that I want to make that we'll be making today. Large fish tank. You'll be able to store fish in here, and you'll be able to see the fish inside the fish tank. Small fish tank that can go on like a table. So this one you can store like sardines and bluegills. This one you can store any fish. So that it will actually be storage. Like this is just like a tiny storage, but this is like a big storage for raw fish. Keeps them fresh. And you won't be able to store raw fish anywhere else. So if you actually want to store raw fish in the game, you've got to build a fish tank. Makes sense, right? But we've also got the fish bowl. I don't know if we like just make it so you can store like one single fish in there for fun. It feels like it might be funny just to like store like a little fish in there. But yeah, fish tanks. We're going to be adding some more paintings. So you'll be able to place various little paintings. So this is like one sort of currently a little like sort of seascape. These are all actually taken from the splash art, like the background images of these. Nice little sort of birch forest island there. Little portrait one with some trees. And then there's a golden painting of a lighthouse. Still work in progress, but there'll be several nice little paintings so you can get. We're adding in wall sconces, so there is finally wall lamps. So there will be this one here. You could see it's more of like a sort of candle lit thing with glass. And then there is another one here that is like a metal one that is a bit more of like a like a down-facing lamp that has like the light sort of like coming down. So it'll be two different kinds of wall sconces. I think that's, and then and then there'll be like the wardrobe. Bam, there's the wardrobe, and you'll be able to build this in your house as well. So there's a little. I feel like there's a couple things I'm forgetting, but these will be some new items in the next update. They're not done yet. These are going to be tweaked. Take it with a grain of salt, but just as a little preview. Okay, let's get back to this blueprint stuff. I just want to outline all the decoration items that are going to be in this shop. Also, I missed out on some comments. Max can't get the building error to happen. So 1 second. I'm going to see if I can get this building issue to happen for Max. So have you tried this building in the island scene?
Yeah, I tried the island scene, the audio tested scene, and from the main menu.
And you've definitely pulled?
Yeah.
Okay, give me 1 sec. I'm going to try hunt down a bug real quick. One other thing I'm thinking of in this update, I'm not sure. I'm thinking of just like making, do you know how that we've included festive franks and there's like the festive like lights and stuff? I'm thinking about just like not doing the whole festive shop and just making them like making the merchant in the third town sell like a lot of those like high tier decoration items that are quite expensive like all the time. It just feels like sort of people miss out, you know? Because currently if anyone's starting the game now, you don't have access to the following items that were added in Christmas. These three, like the reef and the lights. And it just feels like, you know, these lights are really cool looking. It feels like a shame to sort of like not let people, I don't know, build them all the time. Oh, is it just decoration? Interesting. So the plot thickens. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here. I got an idea because it's like an NPC on a building, but I should be able to edit it anyway. Max?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to edit the NPC owned buildings, but I should be able to edit them.
Is that giving the error?
Yeah, I was getting errors, and I also like when I'm trying to place objects in them, they're just like red, and I can't place decoration items like on any of the floors anywhere. It's just always red. But, so maybe go to the Dark Forest Island and try to edit the buildings in that town in the Dark Forest Island. All right, well, we're on the case. All right, where's the blueprints? Do I still have them? No, I don't have them up. Blueprint. Spelled blueprint wrong. Oh, sorry, I was gonna read some of your comments about decoration stuff. Would it be possible to cool down, dim out the smelter when extinguished? Oh, yes. That is actually something that's been annoying me too, Mike. That's going to be... I think I actually might have already fixed that. I'll literally make a task right now, though, so I don't forget. But yeah, the smelter's supposed to be like fully animated and stuff, so when like, you know, it's smelting, like the whole bucket pours, that we ran out of time. But if I have some time, I'll try to like improve it as well as like fixing that. Make smelter not lit when it's off. Okay, cool. I've just written down. That'll take a little bit longer because it's like a different bug. I find something weird in the building. The floor variation with the open ladder in all variation is actually higher than the normal floor. Or like the hatch. Interesting. Let's have a look. I'll quickly build some hatches and see That might be an easy thing that we can fix. If like the hatch piece is like a little bit like misaligned compared to the floors, that'd be an easy one. Right, we'll fix a couple little bugs while we're here, and then I'll start on the town. Alright, cool. Let's quickly just find a little patch of land here. Let's go into dev mode. So something I've already fixed, by the way, is you couldn't like scroll properly. Like I'm using my scroll wheel in this menu. I fixed that. You can scroll now. And there's also like little hover effects for all the building pieces when you hover over them. Maybe it's specific styles. It looks like the wood. It looks like the wood is lined up. Let me build a couple extra foundations to make sure. Okay, wood definitely lines up. It might be just the other styles. Oh, whoops. I just rolled and instantly fell down the hole. Let's try stone. Oh, okay. Yep, stone's misaligned. Yeah, see that? So stone's out of line. Looks like ornate might be as well. Yeah, ornate is. What about pagoda? Pagoda's fine. Interesting. Okay, so it's just a stone and ornate is out of line. Interesting. Let's have a look. Why is that the case? Stone hatch. I can't see my keyboard when maybe that'll help. Yeah. Okay, you all got 0. Let's just add in like a stone ceiling as well. Here. Yeah, you could see how it's like actually a little bit lower. Which tells me it might be the mesh itself. Like the mesh is actually too high. Because basically 0.075 is basically how much it needs to like move down. What did I just do? I think I just accidentally hit the shortcut for like running a build of the game. Ugh. Oh no, what have I done? Cancel. Stop, abort. I might be able to quickly fix this. I'm gonna open up Maya 1 second. I'm gonna see if I can fix this for you. Yeah, this one. I think the actual mesh that we have might be a little bit misaligned. Cool. Okay, we cancelled our build. Yeah, it must be. Talking boats, is the anchor supposed to provide any functionality other than... Yes, the anchor actually works and has some function. I could show you all what the function does. It's something very specific. Well, it anchors the boat, obviously, but in a specific way. We could make it so you maybe like put it down at any time, even though the boat's not going to move, but just like because it's fun. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the hatch. Yeah, okay, so let's duplicate this, right? Let's move this. Oh, whoops. Oh, no. Oh, Jake. All of these should be... Okay. Let's move that to the middle, and let's get our hatch. Move that to the middle. Oh, there you go, look. So they are perfectly lined up. Well, at least these assets are. Interesting. That's weird. So then let's go back into Unity. And let's drag in. Let's find the mesh. So we got a stone hatch. And then we got a stone ceiling. Let's get the position from this. Make it match the position from this. Oh, look, yeah, out of line. Is there any positions on the meshes? No. So we've got a bad export. We've got a bad export of the mesh. Easy fix. Easy fix. I'll fix it right now. File. Export. As an OBJ. And then we're going into 3D assets, building, stone. And then we want the hatch. Hopefully this carries across correctly. Building assets. Okay, let me drag this across. I'm out of the screen. Please don't disappear. It should go zip. It didn't go zip. Ah, I got one more idea. Does this have like scale or anything on it? Whoops. No. Modify. Delete all of its history. I'll just try this one more time. Oh, well, like the tops of them line. No, yeah, it's still too high. This doesn't even make sense. Like, this literally doesn't make sense what's happening right now. The pivots are in the same point. This is like physically impossible. The way that these are not aligning right now. I'm sorry, this is probably really boring. I'm just like really fixated on this hatch right now and the fact that it's not working. Maybe is the floor off? Ah, it must be the floor. Like it must be. I think I know what it is. Yeah, see, I think both of these assets are too. Curious. So I'll answer your question in a second. I'm just like on the hunt for what's going on right now with these assets. Yeah, so the top of the floor should be aligning with this grid. So see, this one's correct. All of these have been made wrong at some point. They're all centered. That's what's wrong. Everything in this file, everything in that whole file is wrong for some reason. So if I go to the stone ceiling, I'll show you what I mean. If I drag, I exported one straight into Maya. See how it it's like at the top face of it, but then the stone ceiling here is not that. It's higher up. So that's what the problem is. So we delete that. That's a bad stone ceiling, and we want this one. And then basically we just get this and we vertex snap it down to there. And then we snap that back to there. And then now, file, export selection, hatch, yes. And we'll fix up the other hatches while we're at it. So now we can return this to its, why don't you want to like snap properly? That's weird. Sure, whatever. You're there. Oh. And then we want to do the same with the, what was the other one? Ornate. Meshes. ornate. So we get the ornate ceiling. Well, that's ceiling tile. It's what normal ceiling. Ornate ceiling. Yeah, see? Properly aligned. This one's not properly aligned. Here you go. Vertex snap that. It didn't change. Yeah, cool. Bam. Easy fix. Easy fix. I don't know why these are all like off now, like the whole grid is off. Okay, file, export selection, and then we go to ornate, hatch. Where's the hatch? There it is. Alright, it seems like we have probably fixed the issue now. Let me just transfer these files on my other screen. Stone hatch. And I'll go to my ornate hatch. Cool, it's great having you all here because I can just like fix, you know, there's nothing worse than like those little annoying like issues that like always just like grind down at you in a game. And you're like, God, I wish I just fixed this. It's like such a simple thing to fix. Why haven't they fixed it already? There you go. We just fixed it. I'll play the game just to verify to prove to you all that I fixed it. So Eliza, you no longer have to worry about the weirdly aligned hatches. I'm sorry that chipped away at your sanity for so long. Oh yeah, and I have to show you the anchor stuff, Mike. I'll just tell you, it's not some big secret. If your boat is on a current and you jump off the boat, like you exit the boat, then the anchor will automatically go down for you. Because when we're testing the game, we realized that if you're riding a current on a boat and then you jump off the boat, your boat will just like go to the edge of the map. Like your boat will just ride the whole current system on its own and like completely leave you. And that was really funny. But we thought maybe that's a little bit annoying. So then the boat will automatically anchor itself and it'll drop the anchor will actually drop off it automatically if you just jump off a boat while you're in a current. Okay. Get the hatch. So, they're all aligned, but they're wood. Like wood always aligned. So we go stone. I've broken the mesh, that's okay. Oh, of course I've broken the mesh. Actually, well, I feel like I shouldn't have broken. That's alright, that's an easy fix, what's just happened. Can I still select that one? Nah. Alright. Good thing I tested it, because I broke the mesh. Morning, Julian. I'm sure you have answered this before, but I'm curious what made you decide Lens Island top-down opposed to third person, trying to decide for my game. A couple of things, I guess. Because like I'm an artist, I sort of like, I liked the idea of like sort of harnessing the top-down perspective because it's like a fixed camera like Diablo. It means that like, for example, if I was to pretend that I was like third person walking around Lens Island, right? If I was like this, you know, like because you just like 360 degrees look around everywhere, it's a lot more work and it's a lot harder to make all the different like angles and compositions and stuff look good. You know, you can see how bad Lens Island looks when it's like a third person or first person game. Like it just looks way worse. Like everything would have been designed in a different way. But if it's top down and it's like a fixed camera angle like this, then I can put a lot more effort to making that like every little scene like perfectly fits that camera and like looks really good. So part of it was just like me being like selfish as an artist and wanting to make the whole game look really like beautiful from like this like locked camera angle. But also it was just like because when we first started, there was like technical reasons too. When we first started making the game, we just weren't as good developers. So at least limiting the camera angle to looking down was much better for performance and was, you know, easier to like slightly easier to make the game. I also just like top-down games. Like I really like MOBAs. I like playing League of Legends. I like playing Diablo. So I generally thought that like the combat of Lens Island would probably flow a lot better being top-down and like restricted to this sort of camera angle. And then like it would also like, you know, I basically imagined, oh, like Diablo when you're just playing the game normally, and then when you're building, it's Sims. And that was sort of like the main goal, is like Diablo plus Sims sort of thing. In hindsight though, making a top-down camera angle is way harder, and I'm going to say this publicly, way harder than making a third-person game. We have so many like really technical, in-depth systems to like, you know, for example, when you're in a building and everything's fading around you, like all of that is like a lot of work to build, and it's very, very cumbersome. But if it's a third-person camera, it's like there's no fading, there's no anything. You don't have to worry about like occluding stuff in front of the camera or anything like that, because you know, you can just walk into a house and just look around the house. All you have to worry about is like the camera just sort of like hitting colliders, but that's all built into the Sim Machine stuff of Unity and like done for you. So overall, a top-down game with a fixed camera is actually, like in my opinion, harder to make than a first-person or a third-person game. At first, I thought it would be easier to make, but it's not. But I still really, really like the top-down perspective. But it's like, if you're having any sort of building or any sort of like dynamic elements, generally it might be harder to make. Well, it will be, than a third-person game. If it's just a dungeon crawler and there's no building or like dynamic elements, then it will be easier to make. And I like definitely suggest a top-down camera. But the second you include any sort of like creative building or dynamic stuff, that's when you just like sort of open up a can of worms. Are the balconies aligning? Oh, the balconies, maybe they've got the same issue. I'll have to have a look. Let me quickly fix up these hatches. I'm not even working on the town. I'm just fixing hatches. That's all right. We'll work on the town soon. Yeah, missing mesh. Typical. Stone hatch. Bam, there's our hatch. Okay, we got that back. And let's go to the ornate hatch. The bricks. Bam, ornate hatch fix. And I'll test the balcony right now if that's also a thing that is misaligned. We'll build that. We'll test our hatches, make sure they work, and then we'll test the balconies. I found the enchantment table doesn't work in the experimental version and wondered if I'm just doing something. Couldn't figure out how to unlock the runes. How does it not work, Dope Boy? I'd like to do no rune show on the right-hand side page. Is there just nothing there? It would be cool if this town had a watchtower because of the enemies. That's a cool idea, Pinch. That is a cool idea. Let's try and build a watchtower. Yeah, I like that idea. That's cool. Can you put them in the top of the hatch floor? Dev mode. Okay. There's our hatches. That worked. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? We can rejoice. Hatches are now aligning correctly in Lens Island. I'm sorry that was in the game for so long. I apologize. But I fixed it now. See how good streaming is? You can all just tell me all the problems straight away and I can fix them. Okay, and then apparently there might be the same issue with balconies. It looks like there is. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I see how they're too high up. So with all the balconies. I'm trying to remember if I made the balconies like this on purpose for a specific reason. I feel like I did, but I can't remember why. Because even that Why would I have made it? Oh, maybe it's because of... I think maybe I made it higher to fit in with the bay windows. So if I make that like that, and I add a bay window, I have to delete that first. I think that might have been why. Let me have a look. If I go into here, no, it sort of looks fine. Like, it doesn't clip with the balcony or anything. I feel like I've done it for a reason, but I can't really think of it right now. Oh, what's going on there? They definitely weren't always doing that. See how that's coming through the brick? Man, I'm just finding all these balcony problems at the moment. I'm gonna have to fix that up. I'm just gonna write that on my list. We won't do it now, but I will fix that up. Fix stone balconies having mesh showing through. Okay. Let's find. We got to get back to building this town. Oh, there's wall roofs. I fixed one roof that didn't align. I think it was the dormer roofs. The ones with a little window. I fixed them not aligning. If there's another one that aligned, I can put that on the list. The runes are there, I just can't use them. How are you trying to use them, Dode? I'll quickly show you. I'll quickly show you how they should be used in case. I just don't know if it's you don't understand how to use them properly because maybe we're not communicating it well enough, or they're actually not working. I'll quickly show you how the runes work. Because you have to drag and drop them. That's how it works. Are we going to have proper docks for our boats in the future? I agree. I think our way to do, the way they want to do docks right is just include like a railing that is like the pontoon sort of railing, because then you can just build foundations right and then just like put the pontoon railing on the edges and then it looks exactly like a dock. So I'm just going to quickly show Dode Boy how the enchanting works. So if you have an enchantment table, you click on it, and you have to drag a weapon that has an enchantment slot on it. So that's hard steel or above. You can't enchant iron weapons. And then the runes pop up if it has an enchantment slot. And then you click and drag the rune into the rune slot in the middle, and then it will show you what you can enchant. And then you click and hold the enchantment button. And then it'll charge up. And then now you've enchanted it. And then now this sword will do like electric damage, except there's nothing. I'll quickly show you it. Let's go to some enemies real quick. But yeah, maybe try that. If a part of that doesn't work, let me know. And if there's a part of that like if it does work but you're just confused by it, also let me know, because it'd be good to know. Oh, the electric effect's not showing properly right now. Because we might be sort of poorly communicating that process as well. Would it be possible to hide the ocean currents for panorama views? For now, they seem to disturb the idyllic scene by sticking out too much. Yeah, oh, interesting. I'd say it's more a problem of like the ocean. Like it's honestly very, very difficult to make the ocean currents look like perfectly match the ocean in the game, because they're two separate like shaders, like two separate materials, and I tried so hard to make them look good together, but I just did the best I could. I do get what you mean, though. Yeah, it is something that I would ideally like to fix. Okay, back to the blueprints. So inside this house, we have to fit the bookshelf blueprint, all of the chair blueprints. Those three. Yes, there'll be curtain blueprints. Just the large one. We have to fit the large drawers. We already got that. Grandfather clock. No, drag that wrong. There we go, grandfather clock. A glass lamp. A candelabra. Oh, actually, no, the lights aren't going to be in this one. The lights, and maybe include the glass lamp, maybe? All the cool lights are actually going to be in the third town. Especially the lightstone lamp. Not the map. We can maybe include the gramophone. None of the pots, none of the rugs. We'll do the tables. So the coffee table, the circular table, and the outdoor table. The fruit bowl will have to be sold somewhere. Might as well sell it here, I guess. I just realized, like, we should totally make the fruit bowl like a like an actual storage item. Like, you can actually store bananas and like passion fruit in it. I don't know why, but it's like I really like the idea of, like, you know, you're in your house and then like you really quickly like go to your fruit bowl and click on it and like grab some bananas and then like go out to dungeon crawl like real life. Like, you just grab a banana before you go. I just think that would be like sort of cool. I think that's all that this guy will be selling. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. All the other special stuff will be sold at the second town. Okay. So we've got to fit all this stuff in there. That's why I think... Okay, so let's quickly go back to... here, because I've got to delete some of these things going through the floor here. Is there any more bushes that I should get rid of? No. Oh, yes. Yes, there is. Can you click on the bush, please? Thank you. You're fine. Okay, cool. Got rid of them. I just don't know if none of the runes. What item are you dragging in to the enchantment table? I wonder if we rebuild this house. Like, if we just attempt to just like rebuild the whole thing. Yeah, let's have another go and see if we can find maybe like a slightly better layout for the house. Take a piece of fruit from your house fruit bowl and complete a dungeon without eating it. That's a weird like an achievement to do with like mum packing your lunch and then like you know, it's like, you know, like everyone at school had like a banana that stayed in their lunchbox, you know, for like a month. It's like some sort of achievement to do with that. Alright, yeah, I think I'm going to try to design a new layout for this house, just because we need enough room to fit all these objects in, and they still look good. The steel sword. Huh, okay, I'll, if you can, try to take a screenshot of it, Dode, but I'll have a look at that, after the stream, because it's probably going to be a bit more of a technical issue. But I'll be doing another patch for the alpha testing people. I could do one today if needed. Steel hammer. Or steel sword. Oh, I can't place anything. Oh, is there like a no build zone here or something? Oh, there must be a no build zone. There's not a no build zone. Why can't I build there? I'm trying to work out why I can't. And it like turns off. It's just this one little patch here. I can't build. Ah. Is it because of... Oh, that's why I can't build. It's the bloody like foundation like down in there. I think that's why. I was tripping out. Oh no, still can't build. There is still something snapping down there. Is there like a foundation in here? Oh, there is. That's why. I got, let me double check. Oh, okay, that was 100% it. Okay, let's now all that's out of the way. See, like, what did I just place then? Like, I just placed a foundation somewhere. I was like way over there, I think. Oh, right. Okay. It's all good. I'm just like freaking out. Let's build this house. I'm pretty sure it's like around there. Oh, tiny bit too low. See, like I could do... I feel like we're gonna need the extra room. I think double bay window is a bit weird, right? Because I like the bay window sort of coming out over there a little bit. I think that looks sort of cool. I just don't want this whole house to look like a big box. Really need to make a roof tile that goes over the bay window. Something I've been meaning to make for a while now. It's like a roof that's like this. And like sort of like fits, you know, just over the bay window. I think that would look really nice. Because at the moment your only really option is like there's a balcony or it just is flat. Okay, so let's say we do that. And maybe... Yeah, so I don't like how the tiles that clip in there. Sometimes do a balcony and that sort of makes it look a little bit cooler. Oh, maybe that looks alright. Like a little balcony there. I feel like this just looks a bit basic though. Oh, I got one idea. We could do an archway and then just do a little balcony there, maybe. Could even just put archways all around it. Just to frame the house a little bit better. Yeah, I think that looks pretty. Like we definitely get some more. We got some more floor space now. I don't know if this looks weird though. Oh, we could put a door there. Yeah. Well, I don't know about a second story because the only thing I'm worried about a second story is like I sort of don't want it to be too big because it's more of like a shop. But then I don't want to block this camera angle. Like when you're running here, I don't want this house because like this is like a pathway. So if we had a second story, then it would extend like up to here, and like all of this would sort of be like blocking your view. Even though it would fade away, it is sort of like blocking your view a little bit. That's the only thing I'm worried about with the second story. Like it sort of perfectly fits this area otherwise. I think it looks pretty good. I'm just trying to make sure it's like adequately detailed, that's all. I guess we could plan out some of the layout for the decoration items, and then I can just like place the blueprints afterwards. So maybe a little rug out the front of the door. I'm gonna quickly just make the time of day in the middle of the day because I'm sick of it becoming nighttime. And then we'll just turn off. I'll turn off the time so it just stays that time forever. Hello, Australia. Hello. Where should I say the screenshot? Do it inside the alpha testers chat in the Discord. You'll have access to that chat from Patreon. Okay, so let's plan out where we're gonna put everything. So we'll need the curtains somewhere. The curtains. Oh, that's interesting. I can't place the curtains. Bam. Send that straight to Max. That's a place where you can't place curtains. We're trying to actually find areas that you couldn't place curtains, and I just found one. Okay, so we need a table. The large rectangle one. Maybe that could go there because then we could put like the fruit bowl on it. So I could go like there. A little crow flying by. So then we'll need the sideboard and the bookshelf. The chairs will have to be in here. So maybe have that chair like there. Not too much blue in that corner. Maybe the leather chair. And this chair there. Cool, now the chairs catch a little bit of that light too, which helps. Well, I'm gonna have to fit a few more tables in here though. Starting to get a little bit crowded. That's not too bad. Oh, but where do I put this metal one? Oh, because I got the bay window there. It sort of blocks the bay window. Maybe that's not too bad. Oh, I've got to fit this table as well. Oh, there's so much stuff to fit here. Okay, maybe these chairs move. I put that one there. Oh, whoops, I keep hitting the wrong. I keep hitting the wrong key. That chair there. And then the other chair. That's not too bad. Is that everything? Oh, I wanted to maybe sell the gramophone as well. I could put it on there. I think that layout, I just don't like the lighting in here. Like I might have to put like an actual, like a wall lamp. Oh, I guess we've got the wall sconces, right? We've got like the new lights that I added to the game. So I could put that somewhere. Like I could put one of them, like I could put them both like up there. Oh, I totally forgot about the wall lights. I got an idea. Because I want to actually like light up this area nicely. So maybe I put one light there. In the middle of this table, like this lamp will go there. And I'll put one wall sconce here. And then I'll put another wall sconce sort of on the pillar here. And then we get nice sort of even lighting around the area. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good... I don't know where the NPC is going to stand. Let's pretend this... Oh, we've got to put this down. I was going to say, let's pretend this clock's an NPC, but we actually have to put this clock in this room. Oh, will it fit there? I think I can make it fit there, right? Okay, I'll just move this a little bit over. Oh, whoops. Add a fireplace. Stove. Well, right now I'm just placing down all the parts that this guy... Because this is like the cabinet maker, the furniture guy. So I'm just placing down all the building items that this person will be like selling the blueprints for. Oh, perfect. There we go. So I'm just trying to like fit them all in this room because this is like a shop. So like it's like a, you know, bunch of stuff everywhere in the shop. I think that's us covered. So we have 2 wall lamps. Yeah. I think it's pretty good. I'll take a screenshot of this layout so I don't lose it. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Go in there. Welcome to my shop. I don't know what, okay, where does the guy stand? There's no electricity. Not yet. I am looking about like adding electricity in the future. Where does the guy stand? Maybe he stands like there. Alright, we'll work that out once I replace this. So let's save this building that we've made. So that's the whole building, right? Yeah. Copy that. We have a bug with the curtains in the current version of the game. You cannot place curtains if you have a roof. It's probably the roof that does it. Right, that would make sense. That would make sense. Because I was literally trying to find a way to bug the curtains when I was testing the other day, and I wasn't building roofs. I was just building like walls around it. So that makes perfect sense. Hello, Alan. How are you? Okay, so we got our building in here. So we can ditch the foundation steps because we've sort of already got steps leading up to it. I might have to just tweak the position of our building ever so slightly. Since when was this little like hole? I feel like maybe it's like ditch those stairs, right? Maybe the whole building could be more like that. Yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. And then I'll just like fill out the terrain a little bit here. Next to fruit bowls so you can have a snack while waiting for customers. Yeah. Yeah, okay, I like that. I think. I'm just going to adjust this. I'm going to have to go back into this prefab to edit this actually. This staircase, I'm going to delete. And there's a weird foundation somewhere in here hiding that I also need to delete. This one. Cool. I'll save that, and then now I can just adjust this terrain, just paint just the height. What height are we working with here? Hi Spike, hi everyone, how are we going? Don't forget, if there's any bugs, if there's anything you want to yell at me for about Lens Island, feel free to say in chat. We'll attempt to fix it if it's relatively easy to fix. Okay, I was going to tidy up this grass a little bit here. Cool. Will we be able to, maybe you can have pirate crews come to the island. That'd be cool. We've actually thought about having pirates and floating casinos. We'll be able to build with the sand green wood roofs, all like these ones. Hopefully. This is part of a system that we it won't be in this update, but it's something that I can hopefully include into Lens Island sometime soon, is like painting and adding different colored roofs and different colored like railings and like different colored stuff, like different options into the game. It's something I'd really love to add. Hopefully I can, yeah, that's like a whole update, like a home decorators update that we'll do at some point. Interesting. Actually, I think I know why your enchantment table's not working. I'm going to fix that for you. I'll do it. I'll do a build this afternoon, and so you can test out the enchantments. Yeah, I was just I think I know why. Okay, so we've got to basically now let's minimize some of this stuff. We basically got to get all these blueprints into this building. So basically, just got to start recreating all of the stuff in this building, except, you know, with the blueprint versions. Bam, one down. And then I guess I'll just delete them as I go. So we've got our bookshelf large, delete that. Okay, we've got our grandfather clock. Blueprint, grandfather clock. Probably gonna have to rebalance a lot of the purchasing costs for these decoration items in the new game. the new update. Okay, there's our grandfather clock. Clock grandfather. Done that across. It's just because like these, like the items that I've got here, the blueprints, these are the ones that you sort of like purchase from the vendor. They're not like actual like, you know, build items. That's why I'm having to sort of replace them. It was cool. It was cool reacting to like Palia and stuff before. I think I'm gonna try to do more of that because I really enjoyed just like chatting to you all and just like talking about gaming and hopefully just like sharing some of my thoughts about just general stuff that's happening in like games. Hopefully it's a bit of like I don't know, a different perspective that is like, you know, unique, because most people talking about games and everything just like to play them, but they don't necessarily, you know, run a game studio. So yeah, I think I'm going to try to do more stuff like that. Sorry I missed out on the stream on Tuesday as well, by the way, for anyone that was waiting for that. We honestly just got caught up in work here at the studio. We had to get a bunch of stuff done that I just didn't have the time to stream. Okay, got a leather chair. We'll get this one. You're also going to be able to buy runes from the druid here. So the druid actually sells all the druid armor, which is a brand new armor set. But the druid also sells like special runes. Oh, I missed that one. There we go. Chair, outdoor, bam, table. I know this is really exhilarating stuff, watching me just like drag across tables. I'm sorry it's not more interesting, everybody. But that's all the tables. They're actually... Oh, I shouldn't have... This table... I shouldn't have actually dragged across. Well, I guess I could just replace it with this one, right? Right, because the rectangle table you already know how to make by default. You don't need to buy that blueprint. I forgot about that. And then we've got our fruit bowl. And there's going to be a wall sconce there. So I'll just leave this here to embody the wall sconce. Coffee table. We need our... Is that the comfy chair? That is a comfy chair. Chair, comfy. Beautiful. Okay. Where... Actually, I'll finish placing these down, then we'll figure out the NPC stuff. Table outdoor. So much of the time people think game development is like really crazy and like people got like programming crazy stuff and it's all fun. So much of it is just exactly what I'm doing right now. It's just like dragging and dropping and like renaming files and just like organizing stuff and like all these like really mundane tasks that are really not sexy or anything. Oh, well now we no longer have a place for this lamp. Well, I guess we have a place for the NPC, like maybe This table doesn't really fit that very well. Okay, we'll have to work out this bit. We'll have to work out. So let's just... oh, the curtains. Right. Where's the curtain here? Am I going crazy? I can't see the curtain in this list. Oh. Hey, Justin, can you please quickly get that? It might be to pick up a package. Yeah. Alrighty. Oh, these actually have an issue. I've just realized. These little things. This is something we picked up earlier on the stream. Was the light probes. It looks like light probes have been left on. Yeah, see? So they would have been having like a weird reflection. Oh. Alright. I'll get to this quickly. I'm sorry to make you watch. Paint dry while I place decoration items. Okay, let's just quickly run through here and see how the interaction, like how the clicking zones and everything feel, and then I'll work out a place to put the NPC and we can tidy up the rest of the bits and pieces. Steph, the parcel just got picked up.
Oh, great.
All right. It's gonna be cool to be able to buy the runes from this druid. So there's gonna be some runes like the enchantments. Some you're gonna get from the enchantment table, like when you very first buy it. Also, I craft it and place it down. Some of the enchantments you'll buy from this druid, and then some of the enchantments you'll buy from the sorcerer in the third town. So there'll be sort of like 3 ways to acquire enchantments. And then the enchantments cost lightstone, by the way, if you didn't know that. That's like the currency of enchanting stuff in Lens Island is always lightstone. Okay, so let's run up here. I was worried about this staircase maybe being a bit annoying to walk up, like maybe it's too thin, but no, that's fine. Maybe cut some of the blades of grass there so they don't show through the wood. I'm gonna have to fix this house fading away, because obviously breaks the illusion a little bit when it disappears. Okay, so I got the bowl, the table. Yeah, I can select all these pretty well. Yeah, so where does NPC man go? So it is the builder. Oh, what's his name? What's the builder called? Eduardo. Oh no. What's the builder called? Oh, right. He's labeled stonemason. He used to be a stonemason in the early version of Lens Island. Oh, that, oh, the fading's broken. Interesting. Oh, I think I know why. I think I broke the fading with this scene view. Yeah, okay. It's not actually broken. So where should this guy go? Oh, yeah, maybe in front, like the... Ooh, maybe like here. So like near the fruit bowl. It's weird moving him around like this. Because well, it still needs to be facing you, right? Yeah, maybe like that. Hey there, dude. I think that sort of makes sense that he's sort of there. I don't like this chair being tucked behind there. It feels like it just gets obscured by the door a little bit. Maybe I move the chair here. Cool. I think it generally looks pretty good, that little house that we built. Everything's pretty. So the things that we've missed out on though are the... Oh, the that's right. The... What's it called? Gramophone. The gramophone needs to be for sale somewhere in there. Let's quickly try find a place for the gramophone. Hello, in Indonesia at 7 a.m. It's, oh cool. Early morning for you in Europe. It's, yeah, 10 a.m. in Australia. We started the stream around 7 actually. So yes, I don't know if I want... Oh, the gramophone is gone. I think here feels like it sort of obstructs this table too much. Oh. Yeah, I don't love it there. It is one of the better places for it though. It does obstruct the table a bit. I don't want to put it on the ground. Like I can't. I feel like it's sacrilege to put it on the ground. And then we also need a place for that little lamp. This one. Maybe that can go there. And then this one can go somewhere else. And then this chair, we wanted to move this chair as well. Maybe this chair can go like here. We can get rid of this thing. That won't be there. Oh, this needs a light. Where's your light? Okay, we'll steal a light from this one. Give me your light. Okay, how does that look? Oh, move this up. That didn't work. Yeah, yeah, that chair's definitely way better there than in that corner there. I don't love that. Maybe the lamp should just be like centered on the table. Maybe it should just be just like right on top, smack bam in the middle. Yeah. Okay, I feel like that's a pretty good layout. I'll save a screenshot of that so we can remember all of this. He can stand there. Yeah. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy with that furniture store. I feel like it'd be nice if there was a sign out the front or something though. Like a bit more. The only thing I'm worried about this furniture store is like the players. It just sort of looks like a house. Like it doesn't look like a furniture store. Like we might need some sort of signage or something. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure I get the... Where is this? Cool. So we've got that, and we've got that, and then we've got the glass lamp. I think those were really the only important things that I moved just then. Oh, and then the table. Oh, and then I guess we got the fruit bowl. Oh, I just deselected them. There you go. I'll just copy them just to make sure that I place them in the right place. Alright. Yeah, so we have like a dithering shader. I'll quickly show you how it works actually. And then we have like a quite complex like system, like an occluder system that has a whole bunch of like sort of rule sets and things based on the player. But like almost every shader in the game is like almost every material in the game is sort of built with this shader that we made. And it can dither away. So you can see here, that has like all these sorts of like little dots. Like dithering is just like a very efficient way to make things become transparent. So yeah, and then we use like a thing called material property blocks, and like things individually like dither away based on their position of the player and what level the player's on, all that sort of stuff. And trees dither too. That's the way that the trees leaves like fade away when you go behind a tree. Then you know they basically do this, and the leaves just dither like that. Okay, so we can destroy that. We can get our blueprint here. We can chuck that on top of this. Bam. We want to move this chair. Oh, that fruit bowl is floating. And then we need to add in our NPC. Could the gramophone go into the window? Oh yeah, that's not a bad idea actually. Alright, let's see where we can put the gramophone. So we wanted him around here. Make sure his feet are firmly on the ground. Do you mean what window? Like this one, I guess. What window do you really see through as a player? Yes, like this window you can actually see through when you walk past. Yeah, maybe seeing the gramophone through there somehow. That's the only thing I'd be worried about is like you sort of hit it on your way in a little bit. But we could maybe add just like a little cabinet that it sits on. Yeah, let's try to do that. I'll play the game again and we'll just try to do it. Like I'll try to build a little cabinet and see how that looks. The window seat one. It just feels weird placing a gramophone on the seat, that's all. Like it definitely has like a better view. It just feels like I'm doing it wrong, like placing on the seat, like I shouldn't be allowed. Like I'd need to create like a proper bench or something. Oh, so I just saw someone's screenshot in our Discord about the building. Oh, yeah. I get what you mean. Like, we make an upper story on that left-hand wing. Yeah, that's cool, Varsik. I might try that. So yeah, let's see if we can make like a little, what's like the smallest profile one? I think it's like this one, right? Oh yeah, that's not gonna get in the way when you walk in. Yeah, that's fine. So move it a little bit closer to the window. Then I could try to place this like through the window here. Oh, it might even be a little bit too like high up. Well, you can see it a little bit. It's like you want to see like the gold, right? Like it's too high. Is there anything lower I can place it on? Not really. That looks like the same height. Yeah, maybe like, because I could place it on, oh no, there's not even a collider. I can't place it on the seat. Wow, like I could like just manually place it on the seat. Where else could I place it? Like it could just go like here or something, you know, or in the middle of this table. I guess it makes sense being on a coffee table, to be honest. For now, I think I'll just put it on the coffee table, but I do agree it would be better coming out the window. Hi, question. Every time I enter the cave and fight, my game crashes. Is it because my PC or bug or something? I'm not sure. Oh yeah, round window. Mike, I think you've got the idea. Submit a bug report, Jack. There's information on how to submit a bug report in our Discord server, also in the menu of the game. Like there's like a button like submit a bug and that takes you to it. And then I can try help you out. If you can submit like your save file or like your error logs or both, we can try fix whatever's going wrong for you. I wouldn't know what's going on until I actually have a look at your files, that's all. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna do a circle window and try and because I agree, the circle window's bigger, you're gonna see more of it, and maybe they'll make us see just enough to be able to see more of the gramophone. I think circle window might just like look nicer in general as well. Yeah, like look at that big window. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm just so dumb placing that on the ground. I wish there was a cabinet that was like slightly lower. I guess that table is like sort of like the lowest thing to place on. I keep over-rotating it. Yeah, you definitely see more of it. And you can like actually select it through the window where it's like, oh, what's that? You know? I don't know if any of you guys like knew this, but like this works, by the way. Like you can play any of the songs in the game and like actually control like the background music of the game. Shoes, boots, furniture piece. I could just imagine like if there was a shoes furniture piece, like everyone would be like placing it on the ground and try to like line Len up to like make it look like Len has shoes on, taking screenshots just to taunt me. I can foresee all of that happening. One like a pet peeve about the gramophone being here is when it's in shadow, like it looks all flat. I wish there was some better like lighting on it so you could like, you know, see like the metal parts. Maybe like a slightly different rotation for it would also help. That's crazy the difference that makes. So like, by the way, like what I'm doing right now, I'm sorry, I should be talking out loud. I'm just thinking to myself. I don't know if you ever noticed this or if this has ever annoyed anyone else, but see how like this is like flat, and you see how like all these shapes, like when they're in shadow, they're like fully flat. This has sort of always annoyed me about Lens Island. And if there was like a rock, I wonder if we could quickly find a rock somewhere in shadow. Like when things are lit up, looks beautiful. Everything has definition. Here we go. But if you ever see like a rock or a clay that's in shadow, until I mouse over it, it just looks like this flat shape. And that's because like the ambient lighting in Lens Island is based on like one single color. It's sort of like flat lighting. That's because it's like really performant. Like the performance is pretty good with it. But for example, if I change it to like a gradient, then suddenly instead of like the environmental lighting just being one color from all sides, there'll be a gradient. So there'll be like a lighter color from the top and then like a darker color from the bottom, or vice versa. And you'll actually start to get definition on shapes. So the second I switch this to gradient, you'll notice all the shadows get a bit darker. But see how we suddenly get definition on like these items now? So it's like this chair isn't just flat blue. That's not flat. If we go black, if we go back to the clay, see how like the clay actually has definition now, and you can see like the different shapes on it. Like it actually makes a really big difference. It's slightly less performant, but I have the feeling that maybe I should try to make the gradient work with the game, because it just like inside sections like this looks so much nicer. It's a bit darker, so I would have to figure out a way to like make it brighter, basically. Like I'd have to like raise the atmosphere a tiny bit, I think, to compensate like the brightness. Maybe something like that, because that seems like relatively close. Like for example, if I just take a screenshot like that, and then if I undo that change I just made and then make this a color. There we go. Whoops. All right, so now the hours, okay. So we'll start here. Take a screenshot like that. And we'll change it to gradient. And then reduce the saturation a little bit. And then up the brightness a little bit. It's definitely a little bit more blue. It's less warm. I guess the saturation would also affect that. So I can make it more like that. And if I quickly go to Photoshop, where we had our beautiful artwork we were creating before, I just want to like really see the difference between these two. Like have a good look at it and see if it's something that's worth changing or not. So that is with like the sort of the low and high saturation with the gradient, and then this one is the flat one. So then that's the high. So that's probably the best match there. But you can just tell, like, yeah, if you sort of zoom in, like, you know, that, you can see the definition of the shapes. This one, you see it's sort of flat. Even like him, if you look at here, like the actual person, he's just a little bit more definition. And like the chair. Yeah, I guess like what I'm trying to figure out as like a game developer is like, is the extra definition that we get, even like you see it in the seat and stuff, is that worth? There's a little bit more contrast too. Like, I guess a good example is like this little patch of light here. If I steal that patch of light and steal this patch of light. See how the one on the left is like a lot more like sort of contrasted? Like the shadows is a little bit darker and the brights are like a tiny bit brighter. It also just adds a little bit more contrast, this one, which makes it feel a little bit more believable. But yeah, as a developer, I'm trying to figure out, is a tiny performance difference, is a performance difference worth like the tiny change in like the visual fidelity? It's like, I feel like it could be. I feel like it could be. It does make a big difference. Like right now, it just feels like, it almost feels like my whole house is sort of just like HD compared to how I'm like used to it looking like. Like everything just feels, yeah, just a bit more like well-defined. Yeah, it's crazy the difference that makes. It makes a lot of other changes though, like night times, like pretty much all the different lighting conditions are going to look a bit different. I love this little area here. See, like how does like the outside scene look different if I make this color? Interesting, so it's like way darker. Because I also turned I think I turned the saturation down, so it would have been like this before, I believe. Like, how does nighttime look? Interesting. I think that's something I might look into for this update. I think that's something I actually might look into, because I feel like that's one of those little changes where people look back into the game and just be like, everything just looks a little bit better. You know, they don't know how to put their finger on it. Like, everything just looks a bit sharper and crisper and more defined, and like, hopefully, like, it'll be like, you know, a nice addition. The only thing I just really don't want to sacrifice performance. Yeah, if Cheddar's watching, one of our developers, he'll have a much better idea of performance. I know that's like, you know, it's I've done some early tests and like it is a difference, but it wasn't huge, but it was definitely a difference in rendering, because it's like the whole ambient lighting for the scene goes from like one light and one like cube map, which is just a single color. Well, basically goes from just like a color to like a gradient, like a cube map. Like it sort of changes dynamic. Like it actually just becomes a more expensive calculation for all the lighting everywhere over the whole scene. So it just has like a compounding effect. That's all. But it's even like here, bam. Like it's just like, however, like that, I would lower the saturation to like 0.5. And then I'd potentially have to bump up the brightness a little bit as well or something. But yeah, interesting difference. Interesting difference. Okay, well, I'm gonna put that on my list though. I'm gonna have a look at that at some point. Look into ambient light mode change from color to gradient. Alright, that's on my to-do list. Tweak the rendering a little bit. Okay, so we liked our little oh, I was supposed to save that, wasn't I? Yeah, okay, so I gotta play again. I forgot to save our changes to the house because we want to change it to a circle window and then place that gramophone back down. I'll just say change those edits, properly save it. Oh, how are we all going? I'm about ready for my second coffee, I think. I think I'm about ready for my second coffee. Honestly, I feel like if it wasn't weird constantly like leaving to go to the toilet and like sort of like talking to other developers and like having meetings and stuff all day, I would just like stream all day. Just like, yeah, sure, I don't care. Like, I'll work on stream. It doesn't really matter. Like, it's just the fact that like so much of like developing Lens Island isn't just me sitting here by myself. It's like having big discussions with other people and walking around and having meetings and chats and stuff. So like that obviously wouldn't play very well on stream. But I don't know. I feel like it would just be cool to just leave it on all the time, because why not? Okay, so let's just place this stuff down. But real quickly, I keep getting off track. But in case you haven't seen it, for anyone watching, in case you don't really know about some new stuff and the update and everything, I'll just quickly show you. Armor stands. The UI looks a bit gross right now. Ignore that. But if I quickly, let's look at all this. Let's do some Viking armor, right? If I quickly get some Viking armor. Look how cool that looks. Got my Viking armor stand, like that. That's badass. All right, I don't want to brag. And then boom, I can hit the equip button, instantly equip all my Viking armor. And I just look like a straight up badass. Or like wanting something a little bit different, don't feel like being a Viking, maybe we get a wizard hat. Maybe you get like a little tackle fisherman's vest. Maybe some sorcerer's greaves. And we'll drag those things on. Bam. Now I'm a fisherman sorcerer. Ready for battle. Yeah, I just felt like showing those. But yeah, we also have enchantment tables where you can now enchant items. Seed storage, you could store all your seeds in the seed storage. Void chest is still a thing. Alchemy table has been changed a little bit. There is an anvil now. There is a small storage box. You can build these small boxes all throughout your house to just store any item in. There's a bunch of other new stuff actually, but that's all I'll show right now. One other big change that we've actually literally just decided on last night, this is a pretty major change, is we're going to change the way that I'll quickly show you. I'm halfway through like a recipe thing. I was thinking like, oh, what if there's recipes for all the different foods and like, you know, it populates. Ignore the UI being all broken and weird looking. Like just ignore that for a second. But what that led me down the rabbit hole is basically making it so, do you know how you can drag food straight from your inventory like to your hotbar? Making it so you can drag and drop all of the storage items. So every single thing in your inventory, like rocks and wood, you can just drag straight into machines, and you can like double click any of these to like automatically send it across to like any machine or storage item. And like we basically use drag, drop and double clicking as like our new consistent system for all of the different storage items. So that is one thing we'll be working on. It looks really funny, like the wizard hat and the tackle vest like displayed on the stand. That looks cool. Okay, let's quickly, sorry, bit of a sidetrack. I just got excited about that and I want to show you all. Let's place this storage container. Bam. Let's just double check that placement is still good. Yeah, cool, that looks good. Alright, that's what we wanted. Now I've got to save this house and redo it. Save you. Copy. Oh, there's so much new cool stuff in this update. It's insane. I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting that, like, yeah, the Lens Island currently on Steam is like so old compared to this. It's just like I feel sorry for everyone playing the current game. It's like, you know, we're trying. We're gonna get you out a way better game soon. It's gonna be so much cooler. I promise. Not that the current game's bad. The current game's fantastic. It's just this is just like even better. I just feel I feel like guilty that people can't play it already. Why is that door? Why has that door decided that it wants to be open? What's? Ugh. I might. That's really annoying to that door. I've got a feeling that door's gonna glitch out when I try to play. I don't know why it's saved as being open when I copied that building across. By the way, these are like little rail tracks here. In case you're wondering, they are an Easter egg. Because one day, not this update, but one day in the future, I would really like to add rail carts, like buildable like tracks in Lens Island, just like Minecraft. So you could build like big rail networks out of the caves and have like roller coasters and stuff. I think that would be pretty awesome. Oh, okay, the door works fine. Nothing to worry about. Well. Alright, we definitely worked way slower than I thought we would this stream. Basically what we did was like rebuild this house to be almost the same house of what it was before. And that's sort of it. Other than that, I was just like photoshopping Palia and talking about stuff. But look, I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching. I think sometimes it's a bit more interesting just to like hang out, you know, and not necessarily like just, you know, do what I'm doing now and like developing Lens Island, because like this is boring for some people. So we can delete the old gramophone and just place the new one. Cool, we can delete all these now. Why can't I select this chair? Chair comfy, is it this one? Yeah. Okay, so I think we've got everything. We've got our chair, table, lamp, fruit bowl, that. I think that's everything. I don't think I'm forgetting anything, any of the decoration items. We can always add more. I'll have to add the wall lamps here. I'm gonna have to like make those sort of blueprints that don't exist yet. But that house definitely is like a much better layout, being bigger. I think it's like a pretty good design, and it generally like is like a nice area for this furniture salesman to sell his furniture. So those will be the 3 NPCs for this town. All I need to do now is just sort of detail it. I forget who it was in chat. Someone had the idea of a watchtower, which I do think is like a really cool idea. So thinking maybe we'll build a like somewhere that probably makes sense, like a wooden watchtower, like here maybe. Sort of like looking out over the town, because this is a dark forest island. It's a little bit scarier than the other islands. It makes sense that they've got like a little watchtower. Maybe there's like a watchtower there. There should probably be some stuff here in this little corner, like mining equipment and stuff, you know, like a mine cart, like tipped over to the side and stuff like that, and just like blocks of like rubble and things. Probably needs a lamp here. Some sort of like town entrance, like maybe like a sign as well. This area here feels a little bit like bare. Like it needs something. I'm not really sure what though. Like I don't really want to do pavement. I like it still sort of being dirt, but I just don't really know. This should be like a bit more of like a smaller, like rural town, I guess. Oh, is it your idea, Pinch? Yeah, that was a great idea. I think, yeah, we'll destroy this little shack here, and then we'll build like a wooden, maybe like this tree will move over, and we'll build maybe like a wooden watchtower with like balconies all around. Let's quickly build like a watchtower design. I think I'll end up the stream in a second, but I just want to like quickly design what this watchtower could look like, and then I can move it around later and figure out a good sort of placement for it. Another thing I'll have to do before I forget is make it so this little druid's house doesn't like fade away when you go behind it, because it just breaks the illusion of it being a house that's, you know, built into the dirt. I feel like so many of the good ideas since I've been building this town have been from like everyone watching the stream. Like I just need to stream every time I make levels from now on, so they can just end up being better versions of themselves. Okay. So I'm thinking, yeah, like let's say the watchtower has like that, because then you're gonna get like a ladder, right? And then you get another one of these, but then this time you get railings, and then you build another hatch, and then you want a ladder that goes on top of the other ladder. And then I'm thinking, if you do something like this, nah, I feel like you'd want to be open. Maybe the lower levels can have those half walls actually. Why is it letting me place that? There we go. Maybe that. Sort of hard because I feel like this is like a better watchtower roof, but then I feel like it just doesn't look as nice. I guess there's also that. Maybe that suits, maybe just like the simple roof suits this town better, because it's also just got to suit the style of this town, right? Oh, I don't know. I never thought placing a roof would be so difficult. Maybe that one. It just feels a little bit lackluster. Like that feels like a watchtower when it's got like a taller roof. But I'm worried it feels a little bit like a bell tower and not a watchtower, you know? Like this one feels like, because that's sort of what this is. It's like a bell tower. That's the only thing I'm worried about. I feel like it's down, I feel like it's between this one and the other one. Like this one, for a 4-cornered roof, or this one, like a 2-cornered roof. Maybe that one's more watchtowery. Maybe that's it. Because there's no other, like... Yeah, it'd sort of have to be an archway. Unless we chose a skinny archway. And I could place a skinny archway just in the top here. I feel like that's probably it. Yeah. All right, we'll save that. We'll save that watchtower. Cool. I like that watchtower idea. That was good. Okay, well, we did a bit of stuff. The town is definitely better. We made some changes. I'm going to do another build. If there's any alpha or beta testers watching, I'm going to do another build for you all this afternoon. And we'll do another proper build tomorrow as well. And I'm going to turn on the runes for everybody. So you can actually test out some enchantments properly. We said achievements. Alright, I'm going to end it there. Been streaming for 3 hours and I need to do a pee. I need to go to the toilet. But yeah, thanks for coming on, everyone. It was a lot of fun watching like Palia and just like chatting and chilling a little bit and like sharing some of my game design thoughts. I think I might try to do more of that. That was like pretty fun and cool to do. So if there's any like games or like stuff, news, game related stuff that you want me to cover, just let me know in the Discord. Send me a message and I'll cover it in the next stream. I might stream this weekend, Sunday morning Australian time, which will be like Saturday night. I feel like it's 50-50 chance I'll stream then. Otherwise, I'll definitely be streaming next Tuesday, next Thursday, Monday morning, like a morning for Australia, which is pretty much like Monday night, Wednesday night for everybody else. Yeah, thanks everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'll see you in the next one.